you might just be left speechless. Panera's new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. Enjoy $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit PaneraBread.com/delivery info.
You know when you see a great deal on a phone and then you find out it's not for you? Not at Verizon.
They just gave us all a new iPhone 13.
So we both got the same great deal.
Yep.
Get iPhone 13 on us with select trade-in and 5G unlimited plans for every customer, current, new, everyone, to show the love. Only from Verizon. $799.99, 128 gigabytes only. Device payment purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The weather update said that there's some rain coming here this afternoon. I hope it holds off.
Storm's coming.
We got a lot of, nice new things for our wedding, and including a brand new weed eater and a brand new mower.
Weed eater?
Yeah, so that's what's just as soon as I said that, I ran into this with my friends the other day. Is it string trimmer? Is it weed eater? What do you call it?
Weed whacker.
No, it's a weed eater.
No. 100% no.
Well, first of all, you can't say no. I mean, everyone calls it something different. We've been through this with like the soap operas versus the stories thing. Come on, come on.
Listeners, you know what to do in the chat. What do you call it?
Our show would be putting this on the poll. Is it a weed eater, a weed whacker, a string trimmer? What is it?
I've never heard string trimmer, ever. That's the first time I've heard that.
Googling it.
I don't even...
I'm just going to type in weed eater and see what pops up. Weed eater? Yeah, pops up right there. Weed eater outdoor power equipment. There we go.
Weed whacker.
That's why your yard looks like crap, because you use a weed whacker. You need to use a weed eater.
No, it looks like crap because I'm lazy and I just go get it over with, as opposed to being out there for hours on end. Like the old man across the street, as me and my wife affectionately call him, he cuts his grass twice a week. His yard looks immaculate. It's beautiful. He just got a brand new riding mower and it looks awesome. Grass is super green and everything like that. But he's retired. I'm not retired. I'm here with you every day. So I don't have a lot of time.
And that's interesting because the house that Nora and I just bought, we moved in back in January. We move in during winter. It's just kind of bleh outside or whatever. But now that spring's here, I mean, this lady that owned the house before us, our neighbors told us that she had put thousands of dollars worth of landscaping in. I mean, you have all these irises popping up. You had all these tulips that have come and gone. We had this beautiful, I forgot what kind of bush it is, but that came and went, of course, already. And I'm like, I can't keep up with all this stuff. Like the house looks awesome, but I don't mow at the pace that everyone else does. So it drives me nuts. So I got a brand new mower. But all right, let's see. David Shaw. He says, let me make sure people can read these things. I always have the settings up. String trimmer.
Really?
There's more than one name for this. I'm just saying,
really?
To come at me like, no, you're wrong. It's not a weed eater.
You are 100%. Both of y'all are wrong.
I'm a weed smoker, but I'm just saying.
I've never heard that phrase before, ever.
Scott Campbell says, I've heard it called an edger. No, an edger. Yeah, I've heard it called. But an edger is an edger.
That's different, right?
Tool, yeah. So if you've heard that could be called an edger, you've heard it wrong, because I mean, a weed eater, string trimmer, weed whacker, whatever you want to call it, that's not a trimmer.
The edger digs into the soil, right?
I thought the edger is like a blade that you just use alongside. Yeah,
I think that was different.
But no, Scott, thank you. Let's see. Yeah. And then, Shaw, we agree on something. An edger's an edger. It's like,
yeah, I thought so.
An edger's just an edger. So there's that. I mean, we're just knocking down this rundown like left and right here. I mean, the big debate today was edger. I mean, we need to know. 518 or head to Facebook, the Justin Kinner Show. We help settle a debate. Is it an edger? Not an edger. We've known an edger's an edger. Right. We've already figured that out. Sorry, Scott, you threw me off there. Shaw, smart man. He knew what it was. Yeah, I just say.
See how long that lasts.
A weed eater, a string trimmer. What do you call it? Is there other names for it? Nolan Russell. He says congratulations. Why can't I talk? What? Holy crap! Can I not say that?
Congratulations, Wednesday, man. The rust should be knocked off.
Congratulations. There we go. Holy, I was panicking there. Congratulations on your marriage. Nolan Russell says. He said it's a weed eater.
Really? What?
So we got weed eater, we have a string trimmer, and we have a weed whacker. So we're not really settling anything here. All we've settled is that they're, Brian Schwederman, what up, Schweitz? He says weed waiver. Whoever calls it a string trimmer probably is a Michigan fan and shouldn't be trusted. A weed waiver? Do you mean weed whacker, Schweitz? I mean, come on. Okay, so I think, yeah, a weed waiver. Like, hi, weeds. Because I seem to be waving at my weeds more than trimming or cutting or whatever the hell it's called. Whacker.
They're waving at
weed
you
whacker.
as they grow.
All right, he said weed whacker. So we got a weed whacker, 2 weed whackers, a string trimmer, and a weed eater. 2 weed eaters. Some guy says weed smoker. There we go.
Facts.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So let's see. We have a sports talk radio show to do, I guess. So there's
Stick
that.
to sports.
Chris Carlin from Canty and Carlin, weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. on ESPN Radio. You guys always catch the last hour of that following our show. But he's the longtime voice of Rutgers football. Don't worry. We're not going to have him on to talk Rutgers football. We might. I mean, no disrespect to Chris Carlin. I mean, he kind of, when we talked to him earlier today, he wanted to talk more Ohio State football than Rutgers. That should tell you what to expect about Rutgers heading into the season. But I'm excited to catch up with him again coming up here in a bit. 4 o'clock, top of the hour, we'll catch up with Chris Carlin from Canty and Carlin coming up here around the corner as well. Keyshawn Johnson on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. I almost said Zubin. I had some interesting comments about your Cincinnati Bengals earlier this morning. And, at times I thought it was a little harsh. I find myself defending the Bengals a little bit more than I'd like to as of late. But we'll get to that coming up here around the corner as well. But I want to bring something back to the show that we have not done in a while. And that is, of course, Kev Nash bringing us over under. So with that being said, Kev Nash brings us over under.
Kev Nash brings you over under.
All right, Kev, let's get things started here as we are off and rolling as Kev Nash brings us over under. Kev, what do you have?
You brought him up. Our coach, Ryan Day. He just got a nice little extension at The Ohio State and a nice little raise to stay at The Ohio State. But there were tons of rumblings that Ryan Day could go to the NFL. Rumblings about the Chicago Bears, him, coaching his former quarterback, Justin Fields, and everything like that. But no, Coach Day is here with the Buckeyes this upcoming season. So over or under 2.5 more seasons for Coach Day as the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
So I'm going to say, to be aggressive here, I'm going to say under. Mainly because, and Byers brought this up on his show earlier in the week when I had asked him his thoughts on Ryan Day getting that nice little raise and extension, and Chris Holtman getting that as well. Byers brought up a good point, and it's one we've brought up before. A lot of times, getting the raise is nice, but you can get that same money in the NFL, so that kind of cancels out. And the extension part, oh no, he signed an extension. He's planning on being here a while. That's done for recruiting purposes. Mm-hmm. That comfort zone, that peace of mind, awareness for your future recruits and even current players, especially with the transfer portal. I mean, right now you're having to manage the transfer portal the way you do future recruits because you have to convince everyone on that roster that, hey, I'm not going anywhere. And every time a rumbling comes out of a coach leaving, that could impact your current roster and future roster. So I think a lot of it has to do with the smoke and mirrors element of that. Yes, Ohio State wants him around long term, but does he want to be around long term? I believe he does. But let's be clear here. The NFL, every year things keep changing, and it's become a more offensive league, and these young offensive-minded head coaches now are starting to take over the league. As Ryan Day continues just to prove that he's one of the best offensive minds in college football, he will always be top of mind at every NFL GM that's out there. He will be sought after every single season, the same way Lincoln Riley will. And again, I think it's going to take the right situation, but no, over under 2.5 seasons for Ryan Day at Ohio State, I'm going to say under. I just think that over the next 2 years, especially with the way offenses are blowing up in the NFL, eventually he is going to get an offer that he can't refuse, I would think. But it wouldn't surprise me if he's here longer. But I'm going to say with the way the NFL's going and the way the game's changing and becoming just so offensive dominant, Ryan Day, I think, will be in the NFL here in the next 2 years. So I'm going to say under.
I had to Google something real quick before I answer that because I want to make sure I'm correct on his age. Coach Day is 43. Coach Day just turned 43 in March. So I am going to go with the over. Coach Day is super young. So I think Coach Day will be with the Buckeyes for at least 3 more seasons. I think that we make another run to the college football playoff, and I actually think Ohio State has a real good chance of winning the national championship this year. I don't think Coach Day leaves Ohio State without getting the Buckeyes one. it's kind of like, all right, if he gets someone, then I think everybody in Buckeye land, including himself, will be okay with him, quote unquote, going to the NFL, because we can say, like, well, we got our championship. He did what he was supposed to do and everything like that. I think that he'll stick around 3 more seasons and then be off to the NFL. I think he'll see, obviously, the CJ Stroud year this upcoming season is going to be magnificent. He's going to have another good quarterback, and then he's going to ball out of control. Then he's going to cash in that lottery ticket, because I think you're right. Everything that college coaches go through, not only on the recruiting, not only now have to keep recruiting your own players, but the transfer portal and everything like that, you don't have to deal with that in the NFL. You don't have to deal with none of that. All you worry about is game planning and coaching. That's what you're worried about. All that other stuff, the contracts, that's the GM's responsibility. Hey, that's on you, man. I'm just here to coach ball. And that's why, Coach Mike Tomlin was so offended last year when his name was in connection with USC. It's like, why would I take a step, quote unquote, back to deal with that type of stuff? Well, in the NFL, you don't have to worry about dudes breaking curfew. Worry about their classes. Is so-and-so passing classes? Is he going to classes? You don't have to worry about any of that. And I think older Ryan Day gets, more and more he'll be more interested in pursuing that NFL situation, because, man, I don't want to keep on dealing with this type of stuff. So I think Coach Day will stick around for 3 more seasons, but eventually he will be a head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, the other reason I brought that up, too, is because of the fact that, Ryan Day's been to the playoff quite a few times now.
Yes, sir.
He missed it this past year. 2 more years of not winning a championship, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eventually, Buckeye fans, and by the way, I'm not doing this like the seat's getting warm or anything like that, but we have championship or bust expectations. You got to think, right now, the honeymoon stage is kind of falling out a little bit. Just lost to Michigan. The seat's not warm. Trust me, I'm not going there. But 2 more years of, dominating the Big Ten, winning a Big Ten title, and getting ousted and blown out in the college football playoff, like, that is going to not sit well eventually. All right. It's not, right now we're doing the whole, he was getting to the playoff consistently, post Urban Meyer, and he got to a national title game already. But both that exit was a blowout to Alabama. So eventually, I think that 2 more years of not winning a national championship, that's going to put 5-6 years under his belt at Ohio State at that, or 5 years at Ohio State at that point. That's why I'm saying sometimes I think that pressure can start to mount, not from the top down, but from his point of view, to say, you know what, this is too much. I just want to go to the NFL. We'll see what happens. But yes, over under, that was number 1. Number 2 coming up.
Yes, Deshaun Watson. He stays in the news. More details are coming out about Deshaun Watson regarding the investigation with the NFL after the HBO show last night. So over under 1.5 game suspension for Browns QB Deshaun Watson in the 2022 season.
I mean, Claire, it's tough to be a Browns fan right now. It's tough to get excited about. I'm excited about the prospect of who Deshaun Watson is from a talent perspective. But, man, the more you watch, the more you hear, I don't wake up saying, man, I'm glad Deshaun's my quarterback.
Yeah.
And from an unfair standpoint, if all of this is made up and not true and all this, then, his whole life has been ruined. But right now, even with everything going on, he's living a good life. He's out in Hawaii or whatever he is right now with all his teammates. He doesn't look to be under any pressure.
I think was it 2 weeks last week? I think it was. He flew all the offensive guys out to Hawaii and everything like that for a bonding thing. He's at OTAs now up in Cleveland, everything like that. I didn't get a chance to see the HBO special last night.
I've just been finding excerpts on it on social media, and it just is not good. There's now admissions to actually having Bill Clinton phrase here, sexual relations with a few of these accusers. So that's going to throw an extra wrinkle that has not been brought. That was not known yet, I guess, until that was brought up last night, I guess. But so I say all this. I still say it's under. I don't think he's going to get suspended. I don't think he's being suspended this season. They've already talked about the fact that none of these trials are going to take place until next spring. So the NFL has a habit of not coming down with any official ruling until they have all of the facts in front of them. And right now they have a piece of the pie. They don't have the whole pie. So I'm not saying under. I'm not saying under because I'm a Browns fan, and that's what I'm really hoping for. I just think that the NFL consistently has been on guard with this. The only thing I could think that can maybe change the perception of the NFL is that you look at how Major League Baseball has handled this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trevor Bauer got a 2-year suspension.
Yeah.
And he's at the same level that Deshaun is. There was not guilty. There's no verdict of guilty whatsoever. So at the end of the day, it's just one of those where can the public perception and public pressure alter the NFL's direction? It never has in the past. So why would it now? But you never know. But I thought baseball handled in a 10 times more drastic way, the opposite way than what the NFL is. I'm not taking sides here. I'm just saying it's interesting seeing two pro leagues handle it different. So to sum up, if you're just tuning in, the over-under that Kev just threw out, more details continuing to come out regarding the investigation into Deshaun Watson following last night's HBO program. Over-under 1 game suspension for the Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson in 2022. I'm going to say under. I don't think he's suspended in 2022, but depending on what all comes out next spring, when everything resumes, it could be 8, 9, 10, an entire 2023 season. So we'll see. And by the way, I think that the Browns are telling you they're confident he's not being suspended this year too, just based on the moves. Do you think the Browns would be spending all of this money and doing all of these things if they felt that this was a throwaway year by not having their quarterback for more than half the season in the tough AFC? You know what I mean? Maybe I'm looking too much into it. I just feel that if the Browns truly believed he was going to be suspended for the majority, if not all of this season, I don't think they bring in Myles Garrett. I don't think they work that hard to bring in, Amari Cooper. I don't think they try to do all of these things, Kev. So I'm going to say under. I don't think he's suspended this season, but I do think a big suspension is coming here in the near future.
Obviously everything that just went on with the school shooting and everything like that, if that shooting didn't happen, this will be getting a lot more burn on every sports program and every national program across the country. And obviously what happened down there in Texas takes precedent over everything else that's going on in the country right now. But I'm going to go with the under as well. I don't think he gets suspended this season. I know the NFL wants to wrap this up before training camp, but this is a civil trial and they're not going to be going to trial. This isn't, a federal trial or anything like that where you can just hold his hand through this. Like, this stuff is going to be backed up through the court system. You know what I'm saying? This isn't something that they can just start over and start whenever they want. They can delay it. He can delay it. His attorneys can delay it. The victims or the accusers could delay it. Their attorneys could delay it. So this thing could go on for not only this upcoming season, but it could be delayed even further. So I don't think you can rule on the situation before you hear everything that's going on in court. And I know I heard a lot of rumors about like the NFL is going to suspend him for 4 games and then they're going to go to trial and then he could potentially be suspended again. I'm like, man, don't they call it like double jeopardy or something like that in the real court world? So I don't think they'll do that. I know they want to get this over and done with and have their hands washed, but there's nothing really you can do with the court system. The court system is going to play out at their own pace. They're not going to speed things up just because he's an NFL quarterback or anything like that, just because the NFL wants to put this behind them and put their games on. So I'm going to say under, and I don't think you can suspend him before he gets his fair day in court.
We're live on Facebook, by the way. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, jump in the conversation there. Kev Nash brings us over under 1 game suspension for Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson in 2022. Both of us going with the under, not because we are not looking at what he has been accused of or what's going on in the court system right now with him as not being a big deal. It's a ginormous deal, but it's just the precedent that the NFL has set on how they've handled similar cases in years past. On to number 3.
I did want to jump in there one more time, because what people have to realize throughout the collective bargaining agreement, this has changed since the Ben Roethlisberger, since the Ezekiel Elliott situation. Before it was, Commissioner Goodell was the sole proprietor guy that's going to make decisions or levy down punishment. They have third party people out there that do this now. So this isn't just the NFL. This is going to be a third party who comes and makes a decision on this whole situation. So it's not the NFL. Like I said, it's a third party. So it's exactly how it used to be.
Staying in the NFL, number 3.
Yes, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has stated that the league is thinking about changes to the NFL Pro Bowl game, which could include scrapping the tackle football scrimmage altogether. So over or under 1.5 more Pro Bowl games under its current structure.
For one, what it should be is under. It should be 0. I mean, it is pointless. It is worthless. Right now, I think it's more dangerous going half-assed playing the sport of football than just not, than playing it at full speed. Playing it at full speed, it's muscle memory. They know what they're doing more. I think that these games are more dangerous, even though we don't have an exact injury to kind of point at that and say, look at this. But why wait for it? I hate when sports do this. For instance, there's a baseball example here, but me and a bunch of my friends were at the Dragons game over the weekend, and someone mentioned the big net along the side. And there was a hard-ass foul ball that was hit, and it went right towards this lady that if that net wasn't there, she was eating her nachos, she would have been drilled with that ball. baseball. And everyone's like, oh, thank God that net's there. And I heard everyone around us saying that too. And I'm like, these are probably the same people, not even 5, 6, 7 years ago, that were calling into the show just furious that baseball was adding these things. But baseball waited till children. Unfortunately, there was a kid that died. Probably, I think more than one. How many kids had to get hit? Old people had to get hit. People in general had to get hit. How many times did that have to happen before baseball's like, okay, finally enough. We should probably make a change. It's kind of the NFL here. A little drastic. I get that. But here with this situation, how many more bad Pro Bowls do you have to watch before you say, yeah, this is just a waste of everybody's time? Make it like the awards in the NBA. Make it be almost like an accomplishment. Hey, you were named to the Pro Bowl. Okay, that's still cool. You could be a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-time Pro Bowler without having to waste everyone's time out on the field with that pointless, meaningless game. Guys are getting Pro Bowl bids just because 3, 4, 5 starters are deciding, hey, I don't either want to play, or I'm playing in the Super Bowl still, or I'm playing in the playoffs still. I just think it's a waste of everyone's time, and I don't think fans will care one way or the other. So I'm going to say under. I would just get rid of this and scrap it altogether.
I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to go with the over because these things take time. No, scratch that. No. You know what? I'm going to go with the under because you know what? It doesn't matter what the changes are. They could go out there and play flag football. People are still going to watch. I can't believe the ratings that the Pro Bowl gets. I can't tell you the last time I watched a Pro Bowl game. Like, I'm talking decades, yo. Like, I'm not watching this. I'm not giving up a Sunday to watch fake football. Like, I would go rather watch my 7-year-old nephew play football. Like, that's the type of football that we're getting out here. Like, we got dudes, Mac Jones running 80-yard scrambles for touchdowns. We got centers playing quarterback. Like, it's not fun. It's not entertaining to me. But somebody out there is just eating this up. And it's not all sports gamblers. It's crazy NFL fans who love this stuff. They love it. So whatever they do, I'm not going to watch. But guess who's going to watch? The fans of football, because they love it. So they could change this up a million different ways. It's still going to do crazy numbers. People are still going to complain because they want, playoff style football at a Pro Bowl game. But guess what? They'll still be tuned in.
All right, moving on. We'll go to the NBA talk here.
Oh, the association. KD, Kevin Durant, has 2 NBA championships, while the king, LeBron James, has a hefty 4. Over and under 1.5 more titles won between the two in their career.
So going over would mean that one of these guys is going to win 2 more titles, or that each of them will win 1 more title each. Or, man, I can't believe I'm doing this, but like the reason I brought these 2 up is because of the fact that they're still top 2 in my opinion in the league right now when they're on the floor, when healthy, of course. But they're both strapped to these bad rosters and these high money contracts, and not a lot of flexibility as far as how the rosters could be constructed. I don't think either of them wins a title next season, and that's just one step closer to retirement for both of them. So I think Kevin Durant has. Which one do you think has more years left, by the way?
Ooh, I'm going to say KD.
It's kind of the vibe I'm getting too.
But KD has been hurt more than LeBron's been hurt.
KD is not going to take he's not going to be a Robin on any team moving forward. He wants to be the Batman. Both of his titles have come at him being. It's weird though. He was the best player as the second player on the team, if that makes sense. I don't know how to word that.
He was still the best player, but
team.
Yeah,
but it was a very weird. That's what made that whole thing weird.
I think KD's game can age. I would say age better than LeBron. LeBron's 100 years old and still playing at a high level. I think KD's game can morph into a second and third option much better than LeBron.
But mentally, can he? Because we've seen. Look at this is why I respect Carmelo Anthony more now as an older veteran player than back in his younger days, just because Carmelo, I didn't dislike Carmelo, but anyways, that's not the point. The fact that Carmelo adapted and was willing to accept being a 4th, 5th guy is huge. I commend that big time, because some guys just can't let it go. Guys like Allen Iverson. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think KD is more Allen Iverson than he is Carmelo as far as being willing to take that role of being a 4th or 5th guy on a roster. I think he has more of that AI mentality than Carmelo, which isn't a bad thing. I'm just saying that's how I view them. LeBron, I think LeBron's already mentally kind of checked out from that killer, right? And he never really was that killer in the league. But right now, it just seems like it's more about the movies. It's more about the off-the-floor projects. And if he can win a title and still play at a high level, great. I think LeBron's going to play longer than KD, but that wasn't the question. Over, I'm going to say under. I don't think either of them win another title. Again, 1.5 is the number.
Yeah.
I'm going to say under. One of them will probably win another title, but I don't think both of them win a championship, and I definitely don't see either winning 2 more championships. So
I don't, that hook is something mean, because I want to say that they can get one. I think that Kevin Durant can still get another championship, but it's going to be tough because of everything that's going on with him in the Nets. He hasn't spoken to the Nets, the whole situation with Kyrie Irving. They're not going to commit to Kyrie Irving, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing for the Nets in the long run. Maybe that's a good thing, and they can ship him out for parts and more players and more team friendly guys and everything like that, and KD be like the lead guy. As far as LeBron is concerned, man, not only is he getting up there in age, and with age becomes he gets banged up and is not able to play as many games and everything like that, but his second guy, who was supposed to be the main guy by now, AD, he's been getting hurt since he's gotten the NBA. So you can't really rely on him to get them through the hump unless there's another pandemic where he can sit down, rest, and recover, and then come back for the playoffs. Because we forget the year that they won the championship in the bubble and everything like that, Anthony Davis was hurt then. And during the shutdown of the league, he got healthy and came back, and they won the championship. No knock. I hate when people say it's a bubble championship. It's a championship, period. They won it fair and square. So, if that didn't happen, they probably wouldn't have won it then. So it's not LeBron, quote unquote, fault that his next best guy just can't stay healthy. And then it's not KD's fault that Kyrie is Kyrie. So I'm going to go with the under. I think that KD gets one more before it's all said and done. I don't think LeBron is going to get another championship presently constructed with the Los Angeles Lakers, because everything that's going on with the Lakers, like we talked about yesterday, with upper management telling the coach what type of offense they going to run, and the Russell Westbrook not wanting to trade that to give up a future pick and everything like that. They're handcuffed on what they can do roster-wise. So I'm going to go with the under as well.
All right, we only have a few more minutes, but last one here on Kev Nash bringing us over under.
All righty. Baker Mayfield is still technically a member of the Cleveland Browns, and Baker Mayfield and Justin Kenner desperately want to know where he's going to play next season. Where will Baker Mayfield go? We don't know, but how many games will he start once he finds a new team? Over or under 3 starts for Baker in the 2022 season?
I'm going to say over.
No.
No.
I'm joking.
Because right now, think about every year, whether it's being OTAs or mini camps and everything going on. Once camps get, someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Multiple QBs are going to get hurt. We'll get into week 2 or 3. Multiple guys are going to get hurt. Baker Mayfield will be on a team heading into training camp. Who that team is yet, we don't know. But the bottom line is, I think there's 17 games in the season right now. And if you look at all the backup QBs out there, I'll take Baker any day of the week. I'll take Baker over most starters in the league right now. So for me, I think he's going to play more than 3.5 games. I'm going to take the over on that. Who he starts them for, I do not know. But if he's healthy and ready to go for that, as long as he's not letting, because again, he's he does let things get to him and impact who he is as a player from a mental standpoint. Does the fact that he doesn't have a team right now, does the fact that he's been alienated by the team that he's currently contracted to, is that getting in the way of his mentality to get healthy, to work out, be in shape? We don't know those answers, but assuming that he is getting in shape and assuming that he is, fixing that shoulder, rehabbing that shoulder correctly, Baker is the best option for any team out there that is either going to lose a quarterback or wants to upgrade at quarterback. I'm going to say the over. I don't know who it's going to be for, Kev, but Baker Mayfield will start more than 3.5 games this coming up season.
Over. He would be on the team right now if he didn't have that $18 million contract.
Yep.
And he would be probably the starter for whatever team that was. If it was the Seattle Seahawks, if it's the Carolina Panthers, if he would have got traded to the Colts, he'd have been a starter. So, like you said, somebody's going to get banged up. And eventually he's going to get cut and he's going to end up on a team of his choosing. And I'm sure he's going to choose the right team where he can ultimately end up beating out the starter or the incumbent and be the starter going into the season. So, I think that everything that's going on with him and the Cleveland Browns is a game of chicken, not only between Baker and the Browns, but the Browns and the rest of the league, because I know it's teams out there just waiting, and they're going to wait it out because they know the Browns are going to have to cut him. They're not going to hold on to $18 million in a season where, they got Deshaun Watson on the team and there's other free agents out there that they could put on the team with that $18 million. So they're going to have to cut him. They're just going to wait him out. And Baker Mayfield is thinking like, yeah, cut me so I can choose where I want to go for the betterment of my career. I don't want y'all trading me to Buffalo. I'm not going to start there. Cut me. Let me slide over to New York City. Let me go ahead and beat out Danny Dimes. Let me go ahead and beat out whoever they got in Seattle. Let me go back down to Texas and see if I can beat out long neck dude from the Texans. Like, he can do that. He's better than all those dudes. So in Baker Mayfield, I would be having my agent talk to the Browns like, hey, man, we got to work out this cut situation, man. Some way, somehow. He's got to get cut so he can end up in the right position, because his career is on the line in this situation, because he goes to the wrong team and sits for an entire year. I don't think he'll be getting that call to be like, all right, man, we want you to come in there and be our number one guy, because he's going to be old news. You see how this league works, especially this upcoming draft next year with CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. It's a whole new crop of prospects coming in that are going to be starters for those teams. So he needs to get cut. He needs to get cut today so he can sign with a new team and be their incumbent starter.
All right. And that is Kev Nash bringing you Over Under. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Kev and I will step away for a few moments. One question I wanted to throw out your way a little bit, something we talked about earlier. We talked about Kevin Durant. It's not his fault that Kyrie Irving is so flighty. You just can't depend on him. LeBron, it's not his fault that AD constantly hurt, constantly injured. But which player has the more reliable number two? Which player, if LeBron and KD can each repick their number two, you could pick AD or Kyrie. Which one are you picking? So think about that during this commercial break. Plus, Ryan Day, Ohio State head coach. Of course, we talked about him just a little bit ago, but he had some interesting things to say about the name, image, and likeness and Ohio State's approach to it. As a Buckeye fan, I don't really know how to feel about it. I do feel like Ohio State's being a little hesitant in how far and how deep of waters to dive into this. Is his comments smart? Are they responsible? Or is it risking Ohio State falling behind? We're going to talk about all that on the other side. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
There are so many words to describe Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. The chicken, juicy, succulent, seared. The brioche roll, buttery and toasty. The Parmesan crisps, crunchy, tangy. The secret aioli, creamy and rich. All those words, but when you have a bite, you might just be left speechless. Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. Enjoy $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit panerabread.com/delivery info.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
That rosé you recommended was a hit. What should we try for more fun in the sun this weekend?
This silver tequila makes a refreshing tequila sunrise.
Perfect. Wow, that price is refreshing too.
Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Hustler Turf commercial mowers are built tough to work hard. Whether you need a fleet of mowers or are a one-man show, you don't have time for downtime. Hustler mowers are over-engineered, overbuilt, and tested well beyond what is required with the most complete lineup in the industry, including exclusives like a 104-inch Super 104, an 88-inch stand-on, and industry-leading warranties. Hustler mowers are ready to handle what you throw at them. Build your fleet to be reliable and versatile with Hustler Turf. Visit Small Engine Service Pros in New Carlisle today.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
O'Reilly. Restore shine and protect your interior with Armor All cleaning and protectant wipes at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, buy 2 canisters of Armor All wipes and get 1 free. Plus, you'll earn double O Rewards points. Clean, shine, and protect with Armor All wipes available at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. N72. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
Something you probably do know. Progressive can not only offer you a great price when you bundle home and auto, they offer you round-the-clock protection. Something you probably don't know, the average oak tree branch can hold 70 pounds. Something you probably do know, your neighbor is building their kid a treehouse. Something you probably don't know, a falling treehouse would take out your whole fence. Bundle your home and auto with Progressive and get more than a great price. Get round-the-clock protection. Something you know for the things you don't know. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
You won't be hearing any glass half full Reds talk from me today. Reds lose again last night. Shocker. Cubs doing their thing. Cubs are bad. But the Reds are worse. Reds Cubs wrap up a series coming up later on tonight. 6:40 the first pitch. 6:10 coverage begins. And then the Reds will have an afternoon game tomorrow. Where the hell my schedule went. But nonetheless, Reds have an afternoon game tomorrow. 12:35 the first pitch as well. So the Reds between now and when we're on the air again, they'll probably lose 2 more games. Just check it. Hey, so on
that was quick, wasn't it, Shaw?
What? Dummy, you said August, huh?
Faster than you thought.
Wrong as usual, Shaw. Wrong as usual. So earlier we were talking about, you did the over/under. Talking about KD and Kevin Durant and LeBron, and the over/under being 1.5 for how many more titles they'll win combined, whether it be each of them wins one, only one of them wins one. And I said the under because I think there's a good chance one of them wins another title. I think it's very unlikely that each of them win another title, and I find it very unlikely that one of them will each win 2 more titles. So I went with the under. But we were talking about it's not because they're not good enough anymore. Kevin, arguable, if you just talk about, if you want to pick a player, if you could throw out all the cap rules and everything, and you want to build around 2 players,
no cap,
for 1 year, 2 year run. A lot of great young players. I'm still picking LeBron or KD, and I'm still picking LeBron over KD just based on who they are right now, even though LeBron a little bit more banged up as he's gotten older. But a lot of their struggles are not come because they've deteriorated. It's because the rosters around them have deteriorated. And both of them, for 2 vastly different reasons, have their Robin that is not reliable, and not reliable for a lot of different reasons. Kyrie, mental health is not the right phrase to go with there, but he's a little flighty. He, it's not even mental health with him that he usually cites, Kev. It's just a lot of, he fights for a lot of great causes, but he does them at the most weird, inopportune times. Opportune times that he thinks they are, because there's no better time than during the season to get the headlines for what he's doing. The problem is he doesn't get the headlines for what he's doing. He gets the headlines for not being there.
Right.
I've always been against banging on players for being injured, because there's only guys in the world, or guys and girls in the world that have it worse than fans when their favorite player gets injured is the player themselves. Can you imagine all offseason, you train all offseason just to finally get to a preseason game, or you get to the end of the season with the playoffs around the corner and you have a season-ending injury?
Right.
That's brutal. That is brutal. You talk about mental health. I can't imagine the mental health toll that takes on some of those athletes, because this is their life, right? And I look at LeBron, I look at KD. Both are 2 great players. both have two very good sidekick players, but two very unreliable sidekick players. Which of those two, Kev, has the more reliable? You know what I mean? Like, if you get to decide whose running mate they could pick, whether it's Kyrie Irving or AD, both great players when they're on the floor. That's never the issue. No one said AD's not good enough. No one said Kyrie's not good enough. Which one would you rather have? Knowing everything you know, knowing you have an injury-prone AD, and knowing you have a very flighty personality in Kyrie, which one you picking?
Anthony Davis 10 times over.
Wow.
10 times over. If it could go more than 10, I would. Anthony Davis not only is an NBA champion, he's hurt. That's his thing, right? He gets hurt and everything like that. He's a far superior defensive player. And we talk about Kyrie being flighty. Well, guess what else Kyrie is? He gets hurt too. So you got to deal with the injuries and him being flighty. So we can talk about why he's flighty or whatever the case may be. Hey, you standing up for social justice, you know I'm with that for sure and all that good stuff. But if we talking about just strictly basketball and your availability, if that's affecting your availability to be on the court and us winning championship, I have a problem with that. I definitely would have a problem with that if I'm LeBron James, where, you know, this whole legacy conversation is a constant situation and everything like that. And all I'm doing is playing for championships. I'm not playing for all-star games. I'm not playing for, oh, man, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, you're playing different games. Like, Luka's season is a great season because he led his team to the Western Conference Finals. LeBron's not playing that type of game. LeBron is playing for Mount Rushmore type of stuff. So he has zero time for the rigmarole. Injuries, okay, everybody understands that. We can joke about Anthony Davis being hurt. Charles Barkley can call him street clothes and everything like that. That type of stuff is funny, no doubt about it. I laugh at it. You laugh at it. We all laugh at it because it's funny.
I'm sorry, Chuck, though, has this thread on Twitter where it's the funniest Chuck moments throughout the history of NBA on TNT. And
my wife watches it nonstop.
I wasted a lot of time because I'm just laughing hysterically. It's the funny. Anyways, continue.
So when we talking about Anthony Davis and everything like that, the only quote unquote negative thing about him is he gets banged up, he gets hurt. But guess what? When he's on the court, ball's out of control. When Kyrie is on the court, sometimes he balls out of control, sometimes he don't. Sometimes he get hurt, sometimes he don't feel like playing, sometimes he feel like this, sometimes he feel like that. So I would go with Anthony Davis 10 times over. And Anthony Davis is younger than him, by the way. I'm almost positive he's younger than him.
He is. He is. But what's interesting,
you want to go the other direction.
No, with what? Like with Kyrie? Yeah, because like when Kyrie's on the floor, but like I'm not a big Kyrie guy. I used to be. You talked me out of it, and then everything you said about him was confirmed when he went to Boston. For one, it's funny though. Kevin Durant and Kyrie deserve one another. They both were in great situations and both decided to leave great situations.
Oh, they're only 1 year apart. They're not that. I thought Kyrie was older than he is. He's only 30. He just turned 30.
Kyrie decided he was too good to play with LeBron James, which that should have right there. But that was one of the dumbest things.
Red flag, bro.
Red flag. Kevin Durant, although I respect the idea of wanting to go, okay, you guys keep saying that all my titles are void because I joined a championship team already. Well, let me go do it somewhere else. But you know, some guys aren't wired to do that. Like, I think he was wired to, I mean, he was, I don't know, man. I still think Kyrie made the dumber, another question, who made the dumber decision, Kyrie or Kevin Durant? If only one of them, if you could pick only one of them to go back to their situation, Kyrie, I think, made the dumbest one because here's the deal. Kyrie thought he was a number one.
Right.
KD is a number one.
Right.
That's why I think Kyrie made the dumber decision. But if I had to pick between Kyrie and AD, man, but there's a lot of things out there about AD who doesn't work out in the offseason, who doesn't work hard. He doesn't take care of his body. He doesn't have that same killer instinct in the offseason. He comes into camp every year out of shape and then wonders why he's getting injured. Would him being in shape mean he doesn't get hurt? I don't know. But I think you're right. There's no distractions with AD. He's a team first guy.
Right.
He wants to be right there winning it all. You don't have to worry about that. You have to worry about the injuries, yes, but you're right. With Kyrie, you have to worry about injuries and just which Kyrie wakes up that morning.
Right.
Who's he going to be that day? That's the tough thing. So I will pick AD over Kyrie, but man, Kyrie on the floor is something special, but he's not a number one. But there's that. So I have to go. I agree with you. I'm going to go with AD.
Yeah, and I mean, I know this game is about putting the ball in the hole, but it's also about stopping the other dude from putting the ball in the hole. And you watch that Boston series, He's a turnstop. He's been a turnstop since day one. And there's plenty of dudes that are superstars and Hall of Fame, top 75 dudes that are turnstop players. But when you're a turnstop and you're only 6'2", there's a problem. I mean, they went Kyrie hunting. Oh, we're going to get Jaylen Brown on Kyrie. Guess what? Layup. We're going to get Jason Tatum on Kyrie Irving. Layup. Like, it's easy pickings. It's easy pickings. And I know it's been a very long time since we've seen Anthony Davis on the basketball court. But guess what? Anthony Davis ain't no turnstop. When Anthony Davis is locked in and when Anthony Davis' knees ain't buckling or his shoulder ain't out of socket, he's one of the best defensive players in the NBA, not only on the ball, but off the ball. Look at the numbers that Joker puts up versus everybody else in the league. And then go look at those numbers that he puts up versus Anthony Davis. They're regular as all get out. They're regular numbers. Hey, man, he put up 20 and 10. But on 40-something% shooting versus 57% shooting that he puts up on everybody else. Anthony Davis, if he could stop getting hurt, if that's something that you can actually do, he would be one of the best basketball players ever to play this game. But he's just always hurt. He's just always hurt. And he's always hurt at the wrong time. Like, oh, man, we're making a playoff push. Oh, there goes the knee again. Oh, man, we back in the playoffs. Oh, shoulders out of socket. And that's not even counting when he's hurt during the beginning of the regular season. But Anthony Davis is a great basketball player. Kyrie Irving, he's a great talent. I don't think that he's a great basketball player. I think he's a great talent. And there's something in the way that's preventing him from his full potential. And if he doesn't want to do this whole potential basketball could be the best, this, that, and the third, it's fine. It's his career. It's not mine.
Is this the third year that KD's in Brooklyn?
Yes. First year was after the torn Achilles. Then last year was when they traded for Harden. He had the hamstring and Kyrie missed the back half of the season. This year, they were there together.
So
swept.
So which player, Kyrie deciding to leave LeBron, he was too good to play with LeBron James.
Absolutely is Kyrie.
I still think, for one,
absolutely is Kyrie.
I think it's dumb of him to leave because he thought he was number one. He's number two. Yes, that's dumb. But from a championship perspective, Kyrie's staying with LeBron. It doesn't mean necessarily that he wins championships moving forward because Kyrie and LeBron still wasn't good enough to beat Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. Warriors are about to get back to the finals and probably win another championship coming up. And I think that KD, who has 2 titles, could probably have another title, could probably have his 4th title this year, and probably have his 5th one next year, his 6th one the year after that. I think from a legacy standpoint, the one that will lose the most legacy-wise is going to be KD.
Yeah.
KD might finish with 2 or 3 titles when he could have finished with 4 or 5, maybe even 6 when it's all said and done because he left this Warriors team. That's why Kyrie, it's easy to say that, but when you think about what Kevin Durant did, it's like, why did you do that? Who leaves good situations like that?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
The reason I say Kyrie, and it's, for me, it's not even a doubt because you are playing the things that he's able to do is because of playing with LeBron James. He's a great talent, no doubt about it. But when you have LeBron James on the other side, they can't double you.
Yep,
they can't. And he is a great one-on-one basketball player. So what are you going to do? You're going to cook because of the greatness of LeBron James. So you left that and you did nothing with it in Boston. And you were drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers also. So I'm going to always go on that side. Like, y'all could have built something super special. Like, there's no telling who else would have come to the Cleveland Cavaliers if Kyrie Irving would have stayed. There's no guarantee that LeBron would have left. If they would have won championships, more than just one, who knows? LeBron would have been like, look, man, we staying. Bronny, you going to St. V. You don't need to go to LA to go to the NBA. I've made it from St. V to the NBA.
Who knows?
Who knows
what happens there?
Who knows?
Coming up here, top of the hour, we'll hear, of course, from ESPN Radio's Chris Carlin. We're going to talk a little NFL and college football with him to kick things off here in hour number 2. So that's coming up next. ESPN Radio's Chris Carlin from Canty and Carlin, which you can catch weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. on ESPN Radio, 6 to 7 p.m. on 1410 Wing AM. Chris Carlin joins us coming up next. But yes, the other thing about Kyrie, last thing on the way out. Cavs not a playoff team with him. Championship team when LeBron gets there.
Yep.
Kyrie leaves Cleveland. Their finals team when Kyrie leaves.
Right.
LeBron leaves, they collapse again, right? He goes to Boston. Boston, a good team before he gets there. They're actually worse with them. He leaves, and look what they've asserted. To be fair, though, Jaylen Brown, these cats, they're further along in their development now. But at the same time, it was obvious they weren't good when Kyrie got there. And the only difference maker was him. Or the only difference was him.
Well, they got better when he got hurt.
That's what I mean. Is like when he was on the floor, they were better with him off the floor than on the floor. So there's that. And then, of course, Brooklyn, they weren't winning at a high level without him, but they were winning without him because that's KD. It's just Kyrie is not the guy, but he's a great number 2 when he's on the floor, but you can't deal with the not being able to rely on him from a mental standpoint as well.
Contract extension? Would you give him the contract extension?
Is he up for one now?
They can offer him one, or he can go play out this season.
But that'll lead to drama if they don't stroke his ego. We'll get into this coming up here in a little bit. 518-1410, that's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Phone lines will be open coming up around the corner. Chris Carlin, ESPN Radio, he joins us coming up next.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
O'Reilly.
This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And Doug.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For a beautiful look that protects and stays clean, choose Dutch Boy Paint from Menards. Now all 11% off. Get quality products with smart technology like mildew-resistant coating, stain shield, and dirt-resistant paint and primer in the award-winning Dutch Boy Twist and Pour containers. Get 11% off everything, including the full line of Dutch Boy paints. Now at Menards. Good through May 30th. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
KTH Parts Industries has immediate openings for second shift production associates and equipment technicians. KTH promotes from within, offers an attractive benefit package, including medical, dental, 401k, attendance bonus, and a competitive wage, starting at $19 per hour with annual increases and shift differential. KTH will be hosting walk-in interviews Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. Please bring a resume and photo ID to apply or see other career opportunities at kth.net. KTH is an equal opportunity employer.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
WYNG 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
All right, we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash, and excited to bring on our next guest. We'll talk a little college football, NFL, a little NBA playoffs with one half of Canty and Carlin. We have Chris Carlin joining us now. Of course, one of the latest, newest additions to ESPN Radio's lineup. Canty and Carlin from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Of course, you catch the last hour of the show following Kev and I each and every day. But Chris Carlin joining us now. Chris, welcome. We appreciate your time. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Look, you're transitioning into this new role at ESPN, by the way, which is really cool, and I'm sure that's really exciting. How has this journey been? As you're about a month into this now?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Chris is tremendous. I've known him for a while, and it's so smart in the points that he makes and the insight that he provides. But more than anything, it's been great people to work with, and they understand that I'm an idiot, and they just let me be the idiot that I am. And when you do that, I think that's when I'm kind of at my best. I joke about it, but it's true. For me, at least. So it's been awesome. It really has been, and I'm thrilled to be part of it, and I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Chris Carlin with us here on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 Wing AM. I want to open up with a little NFL earlier this morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. That one of the topics at hand, of course, was the AFC. As stacked as the AFC is, the AFC goes through which team? And of course, we bring that up because here in Dayton, an hour south, or an hour north, of Cincinnati, of course, we talk a lot of Cincinnati Bengals football, and Bengals fans feel pretty damn good about their situation. Just in the Super Bowl representing the AFC last year, they fixed up that offensive line, Chris, but are they the team? They've improved drastically, but are they still the team to go through in the AFC as the defending AFC champs?
I still believe that, and I know everything that else has happened in the conference and how much better some teams have gotten. The Bengals have gotten better. The Bengals have done a great job with their offensive line this offseason. I love that, and I love what they have defensively. I think they've done – I just think so much of what they did, last year in addressing some of the problems. You really saw the payoff with, what Trey Hendrickson meant to that team. I just look at the Bengals right now. They're young. They're still not in a spot. They have to pay a ton of guys, and they are getting the most out of what they have. I think they are really set up for success here in the long haul. By in no means was that a one-hit wonder in my mind at all.
So, and with that, and seeing, by the way, I'm a Bengals hater in the eyes of everyone over here, by the way. So I wanted to kind of set that up because, as I've stated, I still give the Bengals their props, but at the same time, like to acknowledge the fact that, yes, a lot of the success last year, they were propped. Yes, they were approved. Joe Burrow, an emerging star in the league, if not already a star in the league. And the fact that, the Browns being banged up and not living up to the expectations because of COVID outbreaks and injuries and all that fun stuff. And then, of course, you look at the Ravens and how beat up they are. Those two teams, they've gotten better this offseason. They're going to be presumably healthy heading in. Obviously, a lot of unknowns when it comes to Deshaun Watson and what the suspension could look like if there is one at all. But how much of an impact does the improvement of those teams have on the outlook for who the Bengals are heading into this season?
Listen, I still think the Ravens are an excellent team, and I thought they made a terrific trade with Marquise Brown and trading him away and then picking Burks at receiver because, Brown had been disappointing so far and Burks was a good fit for them. And nobody had to deal with the injuries that the Ravens did truly last year. Having said that, I don't think anything that the Bengals did was a fluke. And trust me when I tell you, it kills me to say that. I'm a Steelers fan.
Oh, man.
It kills me to say that.
You and Kev have something in common, sir.
Yeah. Listen, Kev, I want to find a way. Trust me, I'm looking. I don't see it, and I'm just being objective about it. I think the Ravens are going to be better, but until I see them be able to go and take control of this division, I'm still on the Bengals bandwagon with that. With the Browns, honestly, I don't know what it's going to be when we have no idea if Deshaun Watson's even going to play it down this year. So I can't, if you tell me you have the answer to that question, then maybe we can have a discussion. But even then, What is it about the Cleveland Browns that gives me reason to have any faith in what they have done? You could say the same thing last year about the Bengals, but I'm a prove-it-to-me guy. And the Bengals did prove it this past year, and then they went and improved this offseason.
So you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan like myself. What was your thoughts when they drafted Kenny Pickett?
I guess, I'm okay with it. I've seen Kenny Pickett play enough. He's from New Jersey, and I paid a lot of attention to what he was doing at Pitt. As you can tell, I'm not super stoked about it.
Sound much like myself.
Yeah, I don't really know. But I will say this. I know the answer is not Mason Rudolph. So I don't have a problem with that. And I don't think it's Mason. I don't think it's Mitchell Trubisky either. But if they feel that strongly in him, listen, it's not like this is a team that makes a ton of mistakes when it comes to player evaluation. And it's Kevin Colbert's last draft, and I'm sure that he wants to, when he does that, he wants to leave them in a position to be successful, especially when you're trying to find somebody to take over for Roethlisberger. My mind is open about it, but I'm not going to sit here jumping up and down that maybe I would have been if they were talking about C.J. Stroud next year.
Right. So right now we got OTAs going on, and I remind everybody these are voluntarily OTAs. And some quarterbacks out there aren't reporting like a Kyler Murray. Justin and I were talking about this earlier on the show this week that, we think that quarterbacks basically are mandatory at these OTAs, unlike a free safety or a linebacker and everything like that. What's been your thought about voluntary OTAs in the quarterback position?
If you're a quarterback and you're doing the work that you need to do with teammates and you're putting together, camps and whatever to throw with them and to build that chemistry, I'm fine with it. I think if you're a younger quarterback, it's absolutely mandatory. I don't think Kyler Murray should be skipping out on anything right now. But am I going to get on Aaron Rodgers about it? Honestly, I feel like he should be there because Christian Watson, but at the same time, Aaron Rodgers made very clear last year what was most important to him, and that was getting every penny. Mm-hmm. And when you, as a quarterback, take every single penny that they give you, and I don't blame you for that, at least acknowledge that's what you're about. You're about getting every dollar that you can, and that's fine. Don't expect to go there and get a whole lot of support when you don't win and when your team has to trade away Devontae Adams because you took all the money. You didn't care about Devontae Adams. You let him go and get his somewhere else. That's fine. I don't need to play with him. Like the idea that Rodgers was surprised that Adams wouldn't want to play with him for another year. Like, dude, that's fine. But does anybody create more drama than Aaron Rodgers? Adams, I'm sure, loves playing with him from being a great quarterback, but he's got plenty of chemistry with Derek Carr already from Fresno State. So I just think that Rodgers is phony to begin with, up and down. So that doesn't. Whether or not he shows up for OTAs is like he's not going to show up. He's off on another punch of karma, whatever.
A little cleanse. This is another topic Justin and I kind of disagree on. What's your thoughts about Derek Carr? Derek Carr, like I really like Derek Carr, and now that they have obviously Adams, they have Hunter Renfrow in the mix, they got Waller in the mix. I think the Raiders are going to be somebody to be reckoned with in the AFC.
I like him, but we better see it now. Like you've got this guy, we better see the Raiders as a team take that next step. The Raiders have always just kind of a great job down the stretch of the season this past year, considering everything they went through. But Josh McDaniels and adding Adams, there are no excuses now, right? So as much as I like Carr a lot as a quarterback and think that maybe he hasn't gotten his due, he doesn't need to go and win and have success in the postseason at some point in his career. And he got the extension, yes, but it wasn't like a 5-year long-term extension. It's an extension that they can work around in a year or two. So he got some money out of it, but I also think that he definitely has no excuses to work with right now with considering what they have done to help him.
Chris Carlin, one half of Canty and Carlin, weekday afternoons from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio. And, of course, you can catch the last hour of that program immediately following our show weekdays from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on 1410 Wing AM. Another fascinating stat about Chris Carlin is the fact that you've been the longtime football voice, radio voice on the football side of things for Rutgers out of the Big Ten, of course. And we're an Ohio State affiliate here in the heart of Buckeye country, of course. And you know what's interesting, Chris, as we send you out, the SEC dominating headlines. It's Nick Saban. It's Nick Saban against Jimbo Fisher. It's all of this childish back and forth stuff. And then the only news out of the Big Ten that came out today is Nebraska they're suspending their balloon tradition due to a helium shortage. So, the Big Ten just right up there with the SEC in headlines.
First of all, I didn't even know that there was a helium shortage until I found out. Yesterday. I knew that we had problems with, other things around the country, but helium, I had no idea. So now, I can't get birthday balloons. That's anyway, it amazes me that people talk about the SEC as much as they do, and yet every year Ohio State's right there, and they're just as good to me. There's a reason Ryan Day just got the extension that he did, and justified. They have picked up where they left off, and I'm amazed that when it just seems every year when we start getting to that discussion around those first couple of weeks of the college football playoff voting, that they are there, but nobody really talks about them very much. They're always talking about the SEC teams. Ohio State deserves to be in the discussion with Alabama and the other teams that you want to put in there, whether it's Georgia or whoever, and they continue. Then as much as I think this is silly, I don't think they even get enough respect on that national stage, which is just ridiculous.
Most of Buckeye country agrees.
Yes, absolutely. How's Greg Schiano doing? You a fan of the work Greg Schiano's doing at Rutgers right now? And this will be the last question we send you out with.
Yeah, listen, Greg did it the first time around in the Big East at Rutgers and turned that into a perennial winning program. The hill is a lot steeper this time, being in the Big Ten, obviously, but they have taken steps forward in the first couple of years, and I'd be surprised if that didn't continue. It's a longer haul. You're not going from 3 to 10, but they went from 3 to 5 this past year, and we'll see if they take that next step to 7 or 8 this coming year. But I think Greg has done a really good job there, and New Jersey does not make it easy for you to get things done. And he understands what it takes to get it done in New Jersey.
All right, Chris Carlin, good enough to hang out with us here today on the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. Chris, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to talking to you again in the future, and we'll be here in the last part of your show coming up here in just about an hour and a half. So thanks so much for taking time with us.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. Justin, you're awesome, baby. Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 82. Tonight's also going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a low near 65. And tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com. Perfect air with a personal touch. Get up to $1,000 in rebates on a new Linux system, or make no payments for 6 months when you finance a new Linux system for as little as $132 a month. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 today to learn more, or visit online at DaytonHeatingandCooling.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. License number Ohio license number 14911.
Cars and parts, swap meet and car show, bring the family.
Hot rods, muscle cars, classics. You've got to see Cars and Parts Giant Swap Meet and Car Show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield. Great family fun. Bargains on everything automotive, from rare old parts to racing collectibles. You've got to be there this weekend at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield. Call 937-376-0111 for details.
Cars and Parts, swap meet and car show, bring the family.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings, only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Norfolk, Illinois.
Visit Cincinnati and see for yourself why the Queen City is the birthplace of professional baseball. Catch a Reds game at Great American Ballpark and be sure to explore the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum presented by Dinsmore. Thanks to the HCS Foundation, kids 12 and younger receive free admission into the Hall of Fame, where the whole family can enjoy interactive exhibits and thousands of artifacts from over 150 years of Reds baseball. For details and tickets, visit Reds.com.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with deals like our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month and no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart and Walmart.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
At the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission, we help veterans and their dependents navigate the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA. We can assist with VA claims, pensions, and a variety of benefits, including emergency financial assistance, transportation, and legal services. If you are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, a wide range of services may be available to you, always at no cost to the veteran. We are honored and proud to serve all Miami Valley veterans. Contact us today at 937-225-4801.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freights, new equipment. Call Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Getting enough sides so you don't have to share? That's finger licking good. Order the KFC Side Lovers meal today and get 3 large KFC sides served with 8 pieces of tenders or fried chicken. Prices and participation may vary.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Thank you to ESPN Radio's Chris Carlin for taking time and hanging out with us here on the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. We welcome you back. We're live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Make sure you give us a follow on Facebook. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinder Show. Like, follow the show page, and, of course, jump in on the conversation and be a part of everything that we do in here live on 1410 Wing AM. All right, so interesting comment. You know, it's only Chris Carlin said that kind of caught my attention. He said Ohio State doesn't get as much attention as they deserve. That caught my attention in the interview that we had with him. And, you know, it's interesting. We don't believe that because that's all we hear is Ohio State, right. Ohio State, Ohio State. But it's interesting hearing a guy that is the voice of Rutgers football, the guy that is, you know, from New York and isn't even from anywhere around here, for him to say that he's surprised that Ohio State, who has proven that they are right up there with the Alabamas and the Georgias of the world, they don't get that same love. I
wish we had a little bit more time with him because that was the first thing that really caught my ear that he said, like, well, but then automatically I think, well, we do live in Ohio. We carry the Buckeyes.
So we hear all the time.
I'm a crazy Ohio State fan, so I'm constantly searching for information on the Buckeye football team. So I do wonder how it is for somebody that obviously lives out of market, and not only lives out of market, but lives in New York City, where college football isn't like the end all be all. Like they're really into hockey up there in New York. They're really obviously in the NBA and everything like that. Like, is college football a hotbed up there? Like, think about it. Like, when's the last time a team from like that region was any good? Donovan McNabb in the Syracuse days, throwing to Marvin Harrison. Like, that's the last team I could really think of. Or even Rutgers when they were like number 2 in the nation. Like, I can't think of it.
A long time ago.
That was like the turn, like early 2000s.
So if you're just joining us, it's the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash. I'm Justin Kinder. He's Kev Nash. Chris Carlin from ESPN Radio, part of Canty and Carlin, weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. on ESPN Radio. You'll catch the last hour of that show every day here on 1410 Wing AM when there's not a Reds game, of course. But found it interesting for him to say, if you're just joining us, our conversation, it kind of caught our attention. Chris Carlin mentioned that he feels Ohio State, as crazy as it sounds, and it does sound crazy, they do not get the respect that they deserve. And Kev and I, both of our ears kind of perked up a bit. I don't know for how many of you, our listeners, caught that part and thought the same thing. But is he right? Does Ohio State not get the respect that they deserve? Now, let me put it this way. If Ohio State, it's like we know what Ohio State, there are certain things that if Ohio State just doesn't do, we know what they do well, but if the things that they don't do well, and it's not that they don't do well, it's just they always seem to beat themselves. Mm-hmm. Ohio State dominates themselves the way they dominate the Big Ten. And what I mean by that is a lot of their mistakes come from just self-inflicted wounds, losing to Purdue. You beat Purdue, you're in the playoff. You maybe win a national championship. You beat Iowa, you're in the playoff. You have JT Barrett, you're not winning a national championship. What?
Goodness
I'm just saying.
Gracious. This man been catching strays
but at least
for the last 5 years. He ain't played, but never mind. Go ahead.
But do you realize that Ohio State, like, it's just those self-inflicted wounds that sometimes, like, every time, like, we know who Ohio State is. We know they recruit just as well as Alabama and all these other top programs. But Alabama's not losing to those mid-tier to below mid-tier teams in their conference. They're losing in the SEC title game, or they're losing to LSU with Joe Burrow, who arguably is the best that might be the best individual team of all time, especially from an offensive standpoint. They're losing in the national championship, like they just lost to Georgia. So you have high-profile losses. You could lose, but they have to be high-profile losses, and you can't collect high-profile losses, though. That's the thing, too, because what you run into is, you can't win in primetime, you can't win the big ones. But if you are going to sprinkle losses in, they have to be respectable losses. Bama has the respectable losses. I think the reason Ohio State doesn't get the respect that they deserve is because when Ohio State wins, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to win, right? But when they lose, holy crap, that's all we talk about.
Yeah.
Michigan beating Ohio State. If Ohio State beats Michigan this past year, it's talked about. It's a highlight on SportsCenter, and it's a bullet point of a big rivalry game as usual, and then it moves on. But Ohio State loses to Michigan. Every sports outlet out there lost their minds about it. Yeah. Ohio State lost to Michigan. I think Ohio State has themselves to blame for that. They have themselves to credit for why they're up there with the top programs in the country, but they only have themselves to blame, in my opinion. It's not an SEC bias. It's not the Big Ten doesn't get the respect. No, think about those years they didn't make the playoff. Everyone, the SEC's getting favoritism. You lost to Purdue. You got blown out by Purdue. You lost to Iowa. You got blown out by Iowa. You can't do those things. And I think that's what the big thing. Then when they do get the benefit of the doubt, like when they had the loss to Big Ten champion Penn State years and years ago, they got the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'm still adamant that they deserve to be in even with that because they had like 5 top 10 wins that year. But then they get to the playoff, and then what happens? You didn't just lose. That was the 31-0 season. Right. 31-0, they lost to Clemson. Like, you don't remember the fact that they beat Nebraska and Wisconsin and Michigan. You don't remember that they beat Oklahoma that year to start things off. You don't remember any of those things.
Take that, Baker Mayfield.
You just remember that they lost 31 to freaking nothing. Not just lost, but blown out. Not just blown out, but shut out.
Right.
So I get what Carlin is saying, that yes, they don't get the respect they deserve. I love Ohio State, but I'm just saying I understand why sometimes they get in their own way. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I think that's really what it is, because they have those weird losses that they shouldn't have. Alabama doesn't do that. I'm not supporting Bama here or defending him. I'm just saying, think about it. When Alabama doesn't win a national championship, it's usually because they're losing to more respectable opponents, not Purdue or Iowa.
So yeah, you and I used to talk about this all the time before we even started doing a show together. That it wasn't the fact that Ohio State was losing, it was the way they were losing. Like, obviously, you went to that Purdue game, they got shellacked. Then, obviously, the beatdown that they caught after that comeback victory they had over Penn State the following week, it was at Iowa, and first play of the game was a pick 6 and everything like that. Like, the type of losses that Ohio State was having, it was just like rubbing everybody the wrong way. And then we fast forward to this season, and Ohio State is just not clicking, especially on defense. And the defense has been a struggle the last, I want to say, at least 2 years. I'll be nice. The last 2 years has been a struggle. And obviously now we have a total new defensive scheme, new defensive head coaches. A lot of guys that were starters on the team last year have transferred out, and everything like that. A lot of younger guys are going to be playing on that defense. So we're expecting Silver Bullet defense to return to the Buckeyes. But I think they get the proper amount of respect nationally. I mean, they're always in the conversation. They were even in the conversation going into that final week, of the season, even though they had already lost to that team up north and everything like that. And, you see all the scenarios that could go their way, and they could potentially sneak their way in there with Iowa beating Michigan and UC losing, this, that, and the third happen. Basically, impossible scenario, crazy parlay, but they were still in the conversation. And for a program of Ohio State's caliber, that's where you want to be going into the last week of the season. Obviously, you want to be playing, controlling your own destiny, but to be in that conversation without even having to play is still means you're a part of the conversation, a part of the big time leagues, and part of the program that could play for it, Natty. So I think Ohio State gets the proper respect that we deserve.
Yeah. So if you go back to the year 2000, I mean, there's a lot of teams like, I think Ohio State gets the proper amount of respect for a team that wins one national title a decade. I mean, Florida's won the same amount of titles as Ohio State has in the last 2 decades. LSU has won more national titles than Ohio State has in the last 2 decades. Alabama has lapped Ohio State 3 times with the amount of national championships that they've had in just this last decade alone compared to the 2 that Ohio State has over the last, 2 decades. But, just going through this list, I mean, Ohio State has 1 more national championship than Texas, and we rip Texas for not being in the conversation more. Florida has 2. Florida State, has 1. Clemson has more has as many national titles in the last decade as Ohio State has in the last 2. So I agree with you. I think that they get the proper amount of respect. I think that if they would have beat Alabama 2 years ago in that national title game, I think Ohio State has a much different look. I think Ohio State makes the playoff this past year with that offense, that defense. They didn't deserve to be in. Michigan was a better team. The offense was the best. One of the best in all of college football for Ohio State. That defense was so bad. You know how bad you have to be to have an offense that averages close to 40 a game and you still lose twice and almost lose to Utah. I mean, my goodness. So that's all I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, it just really comes down to you have 1 more national. I mean, look at Miami, not Miami of Ohio. Look at Miami. Ohio State has 1 more national championship than they do in the last 2 decades. They have 1 more national championship than Florida State in the last 2 decades. 1 more than Texas. So it's just that's what fascinates me. 1 less than LSU, and we think LSU is the program that I think actually. Which program do you think gets the least amount of respect or is the most underappreciated? I could argue it's LSU. I could argue it's LSU because when you think of Alabama's success, and Alabama has gone through decade with Bear Bryant, and of course they've gone through many great coaches. But the fact that LSU, they keep getting coaches winning a national title, losing them, getting a coach. I think LSU, honestly, might be the most disrespected program out there. And it's strange to say, but you have Les Miles, you win a national championship, or you have Nick Saban, you win a national championship, he gone. Oh, you get Les Miles. Don't worry. He wins you one. He gone. Well, they're not going to win another one anytime soon. Ed Orgeron, go Tigers. He wins one. And imagine if Chip Kelly comes and wins a national championship at LSU. What?
Brian Kelly.
Oh, sorry. Wrong family. Wrong family. But you know what I'm saying? I think LSU might be the most disrespected program in college football, as crazy as that sounds.
They are the stock market.
Up and down,
up and down. You better catch them when they're hot because when they're down, they're down. When they're up, they're up. I know you're going to disagree with this, but I think that especially how we are trying to view college football now. I know a lot of people.
Don't do it.
Yes, it's Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is.
I think you're going to say the Bearcats. I'm like, don't do it, Kev.
No. I think it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame has played for several national championships. They've been to the Final Four and everything like that. And the way some football fans are trying to push this, they're trying to make college football kind of like college basketball. If you make it to the Final Four, it's a successful season. I don't know if a lot of people are going to buy into that. I still think football is one of those sports where it's championship or bust type of situation because you don't see these cool shirts out here with Final Four on them with all the team helmets and everything like that. Final Four like you do with basketball and everything like that. You don't get a cool trophy for winning the regional like you do in basketball. Like there's no like big celebration situation going on like that. They show you on TV, all right, number 1 seed, number 2 seed, number 3 seed, number 4 seed, like that's it. So I still think that college football is in a place where it's still championship bust. But if we're going to start trying to twist it how college basketball is viewed, I will say Notre Dame because they're always in the mix. And I know a lot of people don't like Notre Dame because they don't play in a conference. Notre Dame, the glory days with the Four Horsemen, the glory days with Lou Holtz and everything like that, and Tony Rice leading them at the quarterback position and all that. Like people just don't like Notre Dame. But I think they are highly disrespected because like they play a national schedule. And when I say a national schedule, they play teams from the ACC, they play teams from the Big Ten, they play teams from the Pac-12, they play teams from the SEC. Like nobody else out there can say that they play that many Power 5 teams like Notre Dame does. I think Notre Dame is highly undervalued.
Interesting. My only argument with that is I think it has to be LSU in my view, just because you're talking about a team that's always in the mix but has not won a national championship. Right. I'm talking about a team that's won 3. Only one other team. I mean, Alabama is the face of dynasties in college football right now. The only other team that has won more national championships in the last 20 years than LSU is Alabama, but yet we don't talk about that program. Is it because Is it because coaches keep coming in and are being recycled through? Like if Brian Kelly comes in and wins a national championship,
Finally.
that would be the 4th national championship in the last 22 years. Like I don't think LSU will win it this year, but like in the next, let's say the next 2 to 3, LSU, that means they would have won 4 national titles in the last 25 years. Only Alabama would have won more than them in that stretch.
Numbers on the board.
That's
big time.
That's the only reason I say it has to be LSU, because you're saying Notre Dame because they're always in the mix, but they haven't won a national championship.
Right. I mean,
the championship's why they're not getting that stamp of approval. To LSU, they're winning those championships and they're still not getting that stamp of approval.
I think there's such turnover. There's such turnover, and there's always especially with the Les Miles years, there was always a cloud of extra suspicion.
What happens after?
Yeah, like that. We talk about it a ton on the show. Like every program out there is doing dirt. It's just the amount of dirt and everything like that. But the things that went on under Les Miles are beyond dirty. These aren't bag man situations. These are violence against women and everything like that. And I think we all are on the same page. It's like, that's disgusting. So like that. And I don't think that you as a player, okay, you're a freshman going into LSU. There's no guarantee you're going to play for a national championship, but you're a freshman going to Alabama. Oh, yeah, we're going to play for one. Ohio State, we definitely in the mix. We probably going to play for one. Even Clemson right about now. Like, you're going to play for one. At LSU, it's literally a crapshoot. I have no idea. And who knows, like, if Joe Burrow says, yeah, I'm going to go to Nebraska instead of going to LSU. All these great players like a Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and all these dudes, they still ain't got a quarterback. They don't got a quarterback now. They didn't have a quarterback when Joe Burrow left. They didn't have a quarterback before Joe Burrow showed up. Like, a lot of things.
They're winning championships.
Yeah, I'm not denying. They won a championship without a quarterback before. Yep. Like, so, I mean, it's kudos. It ain't no hate on this side. I respect it. I respect the hustle and everything like that. And they won in different styles and different eras of college football. They won before the high flying offenses and everything like that. They won with the ground and pound situation, and they actually won 2 with the ground and pound situation. They won the one under Saban, ground and pound. And then they won another one under Les Miles on the ground and pound. And then they just won with a high-flying offense. So, they won in 2 different eras of college football, because I think college football goes in like 10-year increments where the style of play changes.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM. All right, you've heard what we have to say. I'm curious what you guys have to say.
You really thought I was going to say UC?
Situation. Well, no, but I think Notre Dame's just as crazy. But no, in all seriousness, so we just had Chris Carlin from Canteen Carlin and ESPN Radio's duo from 3 to 7 p.m. and then from 6 to 7 on 1410 Wing AM on nights where there's no Reds games, by the way. But he said Ohio State is very disrespected. They don't get the coverage that they deserve, and it got us to talking about Ohio State. Do they get a fair amount of coverage and unfair? They don't get enough coverage. Kevin and I basically agreed that I think they get a fair amount of coverage, considering the fact that they win about 1 national championship a decade. They're always up there as one of the top teams in the country every single year. But championships is what gets you talked about.
Yeah,
that's why I said LSU to me has to be the most underappreciated team in college football. There's only in the last 22 years, only one team has won more national titles than LSU, and that's Alabama. I mean, that's pretty. If you're second to Alabama on anything, that you have to be right there as the cream of the crop, right? LSU does not get the respect that I think a program that has the second most national championships behind Alabama in a 22-year period, I think deserves. You talked about Notre Dame. I think a lot of teams, could be appreciated more. But an interesting conversation at that. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 Wing AM. Head to Facebook. I want to hear from you. Which college program is the most underappreciated college football program in college football? Is it Ohio State? They just don't get the coverage they deserve. Which program is the most underappreciated program in college football? I'm curious your thoughts on that. Or give us a call, 518-1410, 518-1410. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer. If you've been waiting to buy, now is the time. Get $750 lease loyalty cash on all new Hondas and as low as 1.9% financing on the 22 Honda Pilot and 22 Honda Passport. Remember, we can get the new Honda you're looking for. We are taking deposits on current scheduled in-build Hondas every day. See me, sales manager Jason High, for all the details. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I hope to see you soon.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth. Step out of the car, please. I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Driving happy with Febreze car.
You're driving home when, oh no, you hit the longest red light in town. What's this? You're smiling because your car smells amazing. You just installed a Febreze car vent clip. Ha ha! 5 weeks ago, with up to 40 days of consistent Febreze scent, those lights can stay red for as long as they'd like.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Your smile is one of the first things people notice about you. And studies show that people with good oral health are more likely to have good overall health. So maintaining healthy teeth and gums is important. Consuming sugary foods, soda, juice, and energy drinks can put you at risk for tooth decay and gum disease. That's why it's so important to maintain a healthy diet, to brush your teeth at least twice a day for 2 minutes, to floss once a day, and remember to see your dentist regularly to ensure your oral health remains strong. Ohio Dental Association dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. ODA dentists are bound by the highest ethical standards and have access to superior ongoing education, training, and resources. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. For more information or to find an ODA dentist near you, visit www.associationsadvanceohio.com.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Want to see the recipe for the perfect meal? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken for great food on the go with the chicken breast combo for only $5.99. You'll get our classic Famous Recipe chicken breast that's fresh, never frozen. It's honey dipped, hand breaded, and pressure cooked, then served up with a regular side, a fluffy biscuit, and a drink. This is why our chicken is famous. Get the combo that can't be beat with the chicken breast combo for only $5.99. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Let's face it, you all have outdoor home projects to do. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil is here to help as the area's leading provider of processed topsoil, garden mix, animal bedding, and mulch. We cater to the professional landscaper, contractor, and the DIY homeowner. That's you. Buy in bulk, mulch, rock, topsoil, and sand. No matter the size of the project, we can help, and we deliver, often the same day. We also carry firewood, bedding, and fuel pellets. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil, just off I-70 and Route 4 in Springfield. Order online at madrivermulch.com.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Okay, Cincinnati Reds fans, it's time for Roof Truth's Triple Play from Enterprise Roofing. Roof Truth number 1, your roofer should be as dependable as your roof. Roof Truth number 2, your roofer should be in business for longer than the life of your roof. Roof Truth number 3, your roofer should live where you do. Enterprise Roofing is a proud partner of the Cincinnati Reds. For all of your roofing needs and to try our roof cost calculator, visit rooftruths.com.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Alex Scott was a 4-year-old cancer patient who wanted to help find a cure for kids' cancer with a lemonade stand. Join Firebird's Woodfire Grill for Lemonade Days, June 10th through 12th. Donate to Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation.
I was asked the other day if I was still going to support the Reds and go to games following Phil Castellini's comments. My answer was pretty simple. Yes. Look, I've never once gone to a game or listened or watched a game because of the owner. So I'm not going to not go to a game or listen or watch because of the owner either. Most fans are like that, and unfortunately, they're counting on that.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Ready for renovations? Arts Rental Equipment has the tools you need to make your home, lawn, and garden stand out this year. From brush chippers to cutoff saws, no job is too small or too big. Visit your local Arts store today. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
Cars and parts, swap meet and car show, bring the family.
Hot rods, muscle cars, classics. You've got to see Cars and Parts Giant Swap Meeting Car Show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield. Great family fun. Bargains on everything automotive, from rare old parts to racing collectibles. You've got to be there this weekend at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield. Call 937-376-0111 for details.
Cars and Parts, swap meet and car show, bring the family.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
You can't get much for $5 these days, unless you go to Wendy's for a $5 biggie bag. Get your choice of double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT, plus 4-piece nugs, fries, and a drink, all for just $5. That was smooth, wasn't it? That's how you're going to feel when you get that biggie bag at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes 4-piece nuggets, small soft drink, and small fry. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Whether you're working from home, an office, or both, Staples has your tech.
A powerful PC that'll help me deliver the perfect presentation.
Staples has your tech.
How about wireless headphones so I'm not tied to my desk?
A second monitor that'll make multitasking manageable?
Staples has you covered with tech solutions and accessories, from the latest laptops to networking solutions. And now, save up to $260 on select PCs. The latest tech solutions are at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 5/28. In-store only. Limit 2 while supplies last.
Like Joe Burrow said, what's there to do in this city? And like the owner of the Reds said, where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? Welcome back. Justin Kidder, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 Wing AM. So, Brian Staley on Facebook, Kevin, and to reset here. Again, the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash. I'm Justin Kidder. He's Kev Nash, live on 1410 Wing AM. Also live on the Justin Kidder Show Facebook page, ESPN Dayton Twitter, ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. A lot of different ways you could take in the show. Streaming live at wingam.com. We had Chris Carlin on, one half of Canty and Carlin. He brought up, he's been the voice of Rutgers football since 2004. So we got to talking a little college football with him, talking about the coverage of the Big Ten compared to the SEC. You have all this drama in the SEC, and the biggest news to come out today out of the Big Ten is that Nebraska has cut ties with their balloon tradition because of shortages in helium. So lots of breaking news coming out of the Big Ten today.
I thought it was going to be for wildlife, when you release balloons or whatever, they eventually deflate and then animals eat them and die. No,
That's
it's just
birds, man.
It's just because there's a shortage on helium.
Yep. Forget all the animals that choke and die because we're talking. Oh my goodness. So anyway, one thing that he said that caught our attention was that Ohio State does not get the attention that they actually deserve. They don't get talked about enough. And now that sounds crazy to us, almost foreign to us, because we live in Buckeye country. In fact, there's a lot of things that people complain about me in this station with me, okay, that we talk too much Ohio State. And that I hate the Bengals, and they hate my voice, and that I'm short and I'm fat and I'm annoying. No one likes me. All these things. Your words, not mine. I just agree with them. But we get ripped for talking too much Ohio State. So it's interesting to hear someone that's out of market say Ohio State does not get talked about enough. They don't get talked about the same amount as Alabama and some of the other top programs in college football. And is he right? Kevin, I believe that they get talked about the appropriate amount. This is a team that has won 2 national titles in the last 20 years, 1 per decade. They always are right there at the top of the Big Ten. They're always in the playoff conversation, so they're always relevant, but they always seem to do something that kind of moves them out of the spotlight a little bit. They'll lose to Iowa by 28. They'll lose to Purdue by 30 and give up 50. They get shut out. They get to the college football playoff and then they get shut out 31-0 against Clemson. These are the things that Ohio State does that gets more attention than when they do the great things. Like when they do play a great out-of-conference schedule. They're one of the few big Power 5 teams, the elite Power 5 teams that are not afraid to go on the road. They'll go play at Oklahoma. They'll go play at Notre Dame. They'll play at Texas, at USC. They'll do these things, all while Alabama they're too afraid to play anybody anywhere. They have to do it in a dome or do it in a neutral site because they don't have a pair of cojones. So Ohio State deserves respect for that, but they don't get that respect. They get the coverage of, they lost to Iowa by 30, lost to Purdue by 30. They got shut out 31-0 to Clemson. Holy smokes. They're not in the same category. Those are the lasting things that people remember. Ohio State has to kind of fix up some of those things. They have to kind of get people to realize that, hey, we're not going to shoot ourselves in the foot every time. So we got to talk about which college football program is the most, not maybe disrespected, but does not get the coverage or the talk that they deserve. I don't think it's Ohio State, not even close. The program that I believe is the most disrespected and the program that should be talked about more that doesn't get enough attention is the LSU Tigers. Now, I know there's a lot of bad years in there over the last 20, but keep in mind, it's 2022. In the last 22 years, they've won 3 national championships. They won 3 national championships with 3 different head coaches, Nick Saban, Les Miles, and, of course, Ed Orgeron. They've won 3 national championships. The only other program that has won more national championships than the LSU Tigers is not a bad program, an elite program, maybe the best of all time program, Alabama. There's only one other program that's won more national titles in the last 22 years than the LSU Tigers, and that's Alabama. LSU does not get the respect that they deserve. They do not. We hear more about the Georgias. We hear more about some of these other programs. It just kind of fascinates me a bit. And I don't understand how anyone could argue differently. I don't get how you could argue Notre Dame. How could you argue Notre Dame? Notre Dame, when they do get to the big dance, they get demolished and embarrassed and blown out. They haven't won a national championship. How, Kev, can you say Notre Dame? Brian Staley, he comes in hot and he says Notre Dame for 3 reasons. Buckle up. Take notes. Brian Staley, I appreciate these, actually. I'm curious your thoughts on this. Brian Staley says Notre Dame, similar to your reasons. 1, they're willing to play the elite. Yes. Well, for 1, they have to, because I said Alabama doesn't have cojones. Well, either does Notre Dame. They don't have the cojones to join a conference. So there's that. 2, they lose a home game each year because of the Shamrock game. Okay, join a conference and your schedule's taken care of. Don't want to hear that, but okay. All right. Reason number 3.
Had me to 1, yes. Number 2.
So Brian Staley says the 3rd reason, they are the only team with the fan base in college football that touches all 4 corners of America. When they are winning, it's good for the game. But that's the problem. They win a lot, but they very similar to, and Ohio State's a better program, very similar to Ohio State, they shoot themselves in the foot a lot of times too. And even when they do good things like run an undefeated regular season, then they get demolished in the playoff. And you're allowed to do that. Don't get me wrong. But every time you get to a national championship, you get your doors blown off. You get to the college football playoff, you get your doors blown off. Every time you turn around and the spotlight's on Notre Dame and these big high profile, the reason I think that they get actually talked about a little bit more than you would think for a team that continuously embarrasses itself on the biggest stage of them all. Brian.
For me, I don't think that the only big games that teams play are in the college football playoff. You play in big games all season, and that's why we love the college football regular season so much, because there's so much at stake every single week, because there's very little wiggle room and everything like that. Obviously, being a college football fanatic, I'm watching every game. Not everybody does that, but everybody tunes in and pays attention to the college football playoff and the national championship game. So for that point, I guess. Another reason why I am a little weary on LSU is because of not only the way the program is always left in shambles after they win their national championship. Like, after that 2007 season, they nosedived. Not only nosedived on the field, but they were still getting elite level players and everything like that. But the program itself was in shambles. And then things that happened behind the scenes that happened under Les Miles. Then similar, not the exact same things, but similar things happened with the 19 team, the LSU team that won the national championship. Everything started coming about Ed Ogeron and cover up situations with women and violence and yada, 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 and that type of stuff. So if these issues happen over and over again after winning seasons or championship seasons, to me, that shows a program that can't handle success. Long-term success is coming from Alabama and everything like that. Like, they know how to handle winning championships. Like, they're the last team to win back-to-back championships and everything like that. So I just have a difficult time putting them on the same level as an Alabama right now.
Oh, I don't...
or even mentioning them in the same category. Like, I respect the fact that their boosters and their athletic department are willing to do whatever they have to do in those seasons, but there's a long gap, and it's not like they're not putting elite talent, not only getting recruited, but also in the NFL. So what's happening in between these basically 10-year gaps between these national championships? Like, that would be my question if I'm a LSU fan. I mean, yeah, I'm waving the pom-poms. I'm screaming, go Tigers, just like everybody else after we win. But my question would be like, all right, we won in 19, judging off of what happened in 2007, we about to stink. And judging off of what happened, I guess, like in 2002, we about to stink. So if Brian Kelly's able to get it done, say in 2024 or whatever, well, probably about to stink for the next 4 or 5 years.
But
because that's like the trend.
It's so tough to win national championships, and they've done it 3 times, second most times the last 22 years. That's why I keep bringing that up, because would you rather be a program that's always in the talk but never gets it done, or a program that like you said, the stock market up and down, but man, they can cash out and make bank. 3 national championships in the last 22 years. Ohio State has 2 in the last 22 years, and I think it's safe to say Ohio State's a way better program than LSU. But man, with the name of the game is to win championships. The name of the game is not to be a cute little team that's always in the talk and you can't just talk the talk. You got to walk the walk. And although LSU, they sometimes forget the words, they usually back it up with the right step.
You and Nora have young Kenner. Young Kenner is an elite athlete. He's an elite kicker. That better.
First,
that better. That's
Tim Williams would be like, hold on, what the hell did Kenner do to deserve to have a kicker? I'm just saying, no.
Young Kenner is
young Kenner to make believe.
Yeah, young Kenner is elite. I mean, shoot, Michael Jordan's parents are 5'5" and 5'7". He's 6'6". So I mean, hey, the luck of the lottery, right? So young Kenner, he's an elite athlete, and he has his choice between going to the Ohio State University and LSU. Both of them are basically doing the exact same thing that is going on now. LSU peaks and then goes down, peaks and goes down. Ohio State is always at the top. They finally get another 1 or 2 during our lifetime, please God. And so where are you instructing young Kenner to go?
Ohio State. Look, I'm not debating that LSU is the second best program in college football. This is a conversation about which program does not get the respect that it deserves, and I believe that that's LSU. But Ohio State is.
But the reason I would say they get LSU gets the respect that they deserve because they're not consistent. They're not in the mix consistently. When they're in the mix, they normally win it. So when they're not in the mix, they don't win it. So there's no need. There's no need to talk about them if they're not in the mix.
I want championships.
They are every 8 years.
But Ohio State, they're in the mix every year, and you just heard Chris Carlin. They don't get talked about enough.
Well, we ain't talking about Chris Carlin. We talking about me and you.
Get talked about more.
No, the years that they're in contention, 9 times out of 10, LSU wins. You just got to wait 8 years.
First of all, you want to know what, though? Fine. But there's one team that we can agree is not an underappreciated, disrespected team.
Who that?
That is who Shaw just said on the Facebook live chat.
What's up?
He said Michigan.
Huh?
Michigan is the most disrespected team in college football. Is it because they won a lot of games back in the day and now use those to pad their resume now?
Come on. He doesn't believe that.
I think he does.
He doesn't believe that, man. Like, why should they be talked about like that? Why?
I mean, we talk about them a lot. We make fun of them a lot.
I think they get talked about a ton on this show in a positive light. From me, I try to show much love to everybody as humanly possible. But 1997 is the last time they won a national championship, and that was a split national championship with Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken. And then it was I forget what year that was. Was that 06? Where they came to the shoe and Boet passed away like the day before that game and everything like that. So that, and then this past season, like those are the last years, like they've been like super relevant.
Justin Smith says, Michigan, laugh my ass off.
Like why? I Shaw, call in, please, because I'm dying to know how and why. Because it's about what you accomplish on the field, right? Because they haven't been in the mix a ton. They've been in the mix, like I said, that 06 season or 05, whatever the season that was, obviously this past season, and maybe another time in there. Maybe it was like the 10 season they were in there in the mix. I can't recall another time that they were in the mix. You get talked about when you're in contention, and contention means you're being talked about in November. 9 times out of 10, their season is done for with the college football playoff or championship by November. You know, who was it? Denard Robinson days where he was the September Heisman winner and everything like that. That was entertaining. I was watching, but championships and on the front cover and being talked about, nah, man. Nobody talks about Nebraska either.
Michigan.
I mean, where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? Michigan, my goodness. 518-1410. We'll be back in a moment.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
O'Reilly.
This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Your smile is one of the first things people notice about you. And studies show that people with good oral health are more likely to have good overall health. So maintaining healthy teeth and gums is important. Consuming sugary foods, soda, juice, and energy drinks can put you at risk for tooth decay and gum disease. That's why it's so important to maintain a healthy diet, to brush your teeth at least twice a day for 2 minutes, to floss once a day, and remember to see your dentist regularly to ensure your oral health remains strong. Ohio Dental Association dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. ODA dentists are bound by the highest ethical standards and have access to superior ongoing education, training, and resources. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. For more information or to find an ODA dentist near you, visit www.associationsadvanceohio.com.
Getting enough sides so you don't have to share? That's finger licking good. Order the KFC Side Lovers Meal today and get 3 large KFC sides served with 8 pieces of tenders or fried chicken. Prices of participation may vary.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 82. Tonight's also going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a low near 65. And tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. QuickBooks manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, no matter how big your business grows. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. That's why NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, used by over 29,000 growing businesses. Automate your process with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating from QuickBooks to NetSuite. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program, so graduating has never been easier. Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. N72. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Something you probably do know. Progressive can not only offer you a great price when you bundle home and auto, they offer you round-the-clock protection. Something you probably don't know, the average oak tree branch can hold 70 pounds. Something you probably do know, your neighbor is building their kid a treehouse. Something you probably don't know, a falling treehouse would take out your whole fence. Bundle your home and auto with Progressive and get more than a great price. Get round-the-clock protection. Something you know for the things you don't know. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
Do you have a home improvement project? Use the right tool for the job and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. Arts has the best selection from power washers and ladders to loaders and dump trailers. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all been said, so if that your phone was out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Driving happy with Febreze car.
You're driving home when, oh no, you hit the longest red light in town. What's this? You're smiling because your car smells amazing. You just installed a Febreze car vent clip. 5 weeks ago, with up to 40 days of consistent Febreze scent, those lights can stay red for as long as they'd like.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton. Let's face it, you all have outdoor home projects to do. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil is here to help as the area's leading provider of processed topsoil, garden mix, animal bedding, and mulch. We cater to the professional landscaper, contractor, and the DIY homeowner. That's you. Buy in bulk, mulch, rock, topsoil, and sand. No matter the size of the project, we can help, and we deliver. Often the same day. We also carry firewood, bedding, and fuel pellets. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil, just off I-70 and Route 4 in Springfield. Order online at madrivermulch.com.
Are you starting to question your gambling or the actions of someone you love?
It may be time to talk to someone who understands.
Call the Problem Gambling Helpline today and talk to a trained specialist.
There's no judgment and no commitment.
Plus, it's completely free and confidential.
We're here for you. You are not alone.
And remember,
We all have the power to change with the Problem Gambling Helpline of Ohio.
Make the call today.
Call the Problem Gambling Helpline of Ohio at 1-800-589-9966.
Over the last year and a half, we all learned some hard lessons. One of the most important is that you can't put off the inevitable. Hi, this is Mark Davis at Dayton Memorial Park Cemetery and Mausoleums. No matter how hard it is to think about, we all need a final resting place. When pre-planning with your funeral home, please remember that cemetery arrangements must also be made. Call us today at 937-890-1831 or visit our website at DaytonMemorialPark.com. And remember, Dayton Memorial Park is a beautiful place to celebrate life.
Are you involved with a school or charitable fundraiser that holds an auction, bid and buy booth, or a raffle to raise money? Many of the most popular items at auctions or booths are autographed sports memorabilia items. How can you get great items in your event? Call Adam Walter at Sports Investments. Sports Investments has a consignment program for fundraisers that has provided outstanding items. You select items that are proven sellers, including autographed pieces from Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Big Red Machine, the Bengals, the Browns, UC, XU, UK, NKU, Dayton, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. Sports Investments consigns the items to your group at a highly discounted price. And when they sell, you keep the profit. You don't pay anything in advance. And if something doesn't sell, you simply return it. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
Exceed your expectations of what makes a great paint or stain with Pittsburgh Paints and Stains from Menards. Now all 11% off with some of the most advanced technology like enhanced UV resistances, dirt shedding protection, and true one-coat coverage paint and primer in one. Finding your perfect paint or stain is easy. Get 11% off everything, including Pittsburgh Paints and Stains, now at Menards. Good through May 30th. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station. 1410 Wing AM. All right, we're live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, jump in on the conversation, and be a part of everything we do here weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. right now, 1410 Wing AM. So earlier today on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, I turn it on, Kev, and all of a sudden, a beautiful segment comes up. Who's the team to go through in the AFC? It's a very generic-y topic. I get that. But it caught my interest. Because I used to think, man, am I the only one that ever says anything critical of the Bengals? Am I the only one? Am I crazy here? Am I wrong? Does anybody else out there see what I see? And I feel like I'm in the minority when it comes to everything bashing Bengals here. Maybe it's because of the proximity of which we live to Cincinnati. Of course, a lot of homerism. Okay, not thinking clearly, just thinking through homerism goggles. I get it, but. Beautiful segment today on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Keyshawn was asked, Kev, about does the AFC run through Cincinnati? Is the path to get to the Super Bowl in 2022 or 23, however you want to view it, does it go through Cincinnati, the AFC champion of the 2021-22 season, the team that was representing the AFC in this most recent Super Bowl in Los Angeles? Is the path to the AFC through Cincinnati? Take a listen, Kev. Because Keyshawn Johnson, he just doesn't think so. Take a listen.
I think they are a good football team. There's no question about it. But I don't think that they are at the top of the class of the AFC conference. And I know it sounds weird. They went and represented the AFC conference in the Super Bowl. But every now and then you have a sneak up type team that sneaks up on somebody like a Kansas City and beats them, and then everybody all of a sudden pushes their chips toward their team. And I think Cincinnati potentially could be one of those. I don't mean to poo-poo on their success, but I would be very cautious to think that they're going to be back in the same sort of situation again this season because of what happened and occurred last season.
Interesting comments. A lot of those same comments I have takes I have made in the past. And of course, Keyshawn, he has a few more followers on social media than me. He's a little bit more popular than I am. Not much, but just a little. Joking, of course. But, we just talked about this the other day, how protective we get of our teams, right? Bengals fans doing what they typically do. Keyshawn's a bum. He don't know what he's talking about. He's disconnected, blah, blah. So when I say things about the Bengals, it's because I've never played. I'm unathletic. I don't know what I'm talking about. But when a very accomplished Super Bowl champion, superstar wide receiver that played the game at the highest level says it, now he's a bum. Now he don't know what he's talking about. Come on. See, this is what we talk about, moving the goalpost, Bengals fans. Just deal with it. Your team's not as good as you think, right? And just saying. And Keyshawn's saying it too. But no, in all seriousness, your thought, look, I don't know if the AFC does run through Cincinnati. I think it's not safe to say. I could say it doesn't run through Cincinnati, but I could also say I don't know who the hell it runs through. That's how stacked the AFC is.
That was just about to be my point.
That's how stacked it is. I'm not disrespecting Cincinnati. I'm actually about to defend Cincinnati. A year ago, I said they'd win 4 games. A year ago, I said they wouldn't even sniff the playoffs. And by the way, a lot of you Bengals fans did not even think that they would make the playoffs, much less get to a Super Bowl either. That's my favorite part, by the way. Everyone out there, I knew they were going to be this good. No, you didn't. Because all of you that called in to yell at me, look, Kenner, I think you're being a little too hard on the Bengals because I think that they're going to be much improved. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team or anything, but they're going to be much improved. Well, thank the Browns and Ravens for having injury-riddled seasons because you won the division, and there you go. But
I could think of one Cincinnati Bengal fan that called it.
Which one?
Charlie.
Well, Charlie, yeah. He don't count. He don't count. But no, he technically did. Technically. But with that being said, here's why I have a hard time buying in to the AFC running through Cincinnati. And it's something that it's not me questioning their talent because they're vastly improved from last year just because of what happened with the improvement of the offensive line. But Kev, look at this first half schedule, okay? They open up at home against Pittsburgh. They're at Dallas. They're at the Jets. They got the Dolphins, right? New Orleans, Baltimore, Atlanta, Cleveland, Carolina. I mean, that's a 7-2 record realistically heading into the bye week. And they're going to be riding high. Kinner's going to be eating crow for 7 of the first 9 weeks of the season, right? Like it's going to be piling. They're going back to the Super Bowl, but they really got to get back to reality because here's what happens after the bye week, Kev. At Pittsburgh, at Tennessee, Kansas City, and the Cleveland Browns. The first month of the season, the first 4 games back from the bye week. At Pittsburgh, at Tennessee, got Cleveland, who they've owned you with a lesser quarterback, by the way. So what's going to happen when they got a real quarterback? I'm just saying, common sense, that continues the dominant run. But in all seriousness, then playing at Tennessee, and then Kansas City, the Chiefs. I know you have them at home, but damn, you have Kansas City in between Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Cleveland, and Tampa. And then you have Cleveland again. You're at Tampa. You're at New England. And then you got Buffalo, the second to last game of the season. And then you close the season out against Baltimore. So Cincinnati is really good. But even the best team in the NFL can't look at that schedule and say, we are going to run roughshod through that thing. You can't predict that. That is a brutal second half schedule, Kev. That first half schedule, that's nice. That's cute. It's adorable. If it was a kitten, I'd pet it. That's how cute it is. But then it's a cheetah. It's a Bengal, if you will, in the back half. Actually, no, Bengals aren't tough. So let's go with something real tough, like a what are the Browns? A little dwarf. I don't really got anything going for me there. But no, in all seriousness, for real though, I have a hard time buying into the AFC going through Cincinnati this year because of that back half schedule, Kev. And by the way, if they are there, if they win the AFC next year with that back half schedule, I will never criticize the Cincinnati Bengals again as long as Joe Burrow is the quarterback. I'm telling you right now, because Kev, if they win the AFC, if they get the 1 seed in the AFC and they win the AFC North with that back half schedule, Kev, at Pittsburgh, at Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland, at Tampa Bay, at New England, Buffalo, Baltimore, that's your back half schedule.
You know me very well. Even doing this show for over 2.5 years.
I haven't brainwashed you yet.
No,
come on, panic, not. Kev, panic. Come on.
Definitely not. What would I say to something like that? What would Kev say?
Gotta see it on the field. Gotta see it to believe it. Might as well not even have a show because we'll just
no. That's not the one I would use.
No, I don't know what you're gonna say.
The one I would use is on paper. On paper, that sounds super scary, but
unless they get lucked out by injuries and stuff.
Hey, that is the game, ain't it? That is the game. I recall actually the last time my favorite NFL team won the Super Bowl, they had the hardest schedule in the league and they won the Super Bowl. So I'm not a big person on the preseason going into the season like, oh, this is going to be a rough shot because crazy things happen. The Dak Prescott snaps his leg in half. Like crazy, wacky things happen. The Cincinnati Bengals went and bought themselves an offensive line and everything like that. I think the crux of what Keyshawn is saying is last year is last year. Last year does not carry over into this year. All the accomplishments that you did last year mean diddly poo this upcoming season. You may bring that bravado, you may bring that confidence into this season, but those wins don't mean anything this upcoming season. Everybody starts out at 0-0. You have to prove that you're worthy of winning these games on the field. So you've improved. Cincinnati Bengals, you've improved absolutely because you fixed the biggest weakness on your team, which is your offensive line. But just like every other team out there that wants to win the Super Bowl, wants to contend, wants to bounce back, they have improved as well. And most of those improvements have been in the AFC. You know, with the Broncos going out and getting Russ, a Super Bowl champion quarterback, the things that we're expecting from the Cleveland Browns while upgrading the quarterback position, everything that the Baltimore Ravens did by not only hoping that their core, their team is healthy this season, but hey, man, you know what we're going to do? We're going to rededicate our offensive line. We're not about to have a sieve of an offensive line, much like the Cincinnati Bengals did. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix it with young talent and everything like that. So last year's success doesn't mean you're going to be successful this upcoming season, as you can attest to as a Cleveland Browns fan.
Well, yes, but you also there was excitement. I mean, we talk about expectations for all these teams because of what I mean for you, but that's hypocritical of you because you can't sit there and say, man, the AFC is stacked. Is it? What if every AFC team gets injured? I know what you're saying. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but we can't sit here and talk about how stacked the AFC is based on the perception of the conference because of all the talent that's in the conference. Well, then we shouldn't have an opinion on anything because, well, that's what it looks like on paper. But really, every quarterback can go down. Every quarterback could be, their cars can all break down on the way to the facility one day or something. I'm just saying. So I do agree with you on those things. Yes. And the Browns are proof of that. The Ravens are proof of that. I mean, just coincidentally enough, two teams had a lot of bad luck last year while one team benefited from it. But I'm just saying. All right. Okay. But there's more. It's like a ShamWow commercial. But wait.
There's more.
So Keyshawn Johnson at least would go on to provide an explanation as to why, not more than just saying, hey, last year's last year. Keyshawn Johnson would go on to explain a little bit more why he believes the Bengals will not be the team to beat in the AFC.
The ball bounced perfectly for them. Let's be honest with each other.
There
was probably about 4 to 5 games throughout the regular season that could have swung either way for them, and it swung on their side. Then you get into the playoffs. That Las Vegas Raider playoff game could have very easily gone their way. And people say, well, how could you say that? They went to the AFC Championship. They beat Kansas City. Oh, my God, they took care of business, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but every now and then you get on a little magical ride and you become the Cinderella story. And everybody likes Joe Burrow because he wore the chain and he's got some swag to him. And we put a lot of yeast on that sort of stuff. But let's be honest. Let's see now where these defensive coordinators across the league, they have a different book on you now. You have more film out there. They've had all offseason. Those older statement defensive coordinators with a little bit of dandruff on their shoulders with the gray hair that's been around for a while. They're studying from January to whenever they play them about the Cincinnati Bengals. That's just the reality of it.
No, he's not wrong. Look, yes. These D coordinators are spending a lot of time starting in January until they play. To be fair, though, we could have said that about Patrick Mahomes. The league maybe it caught up with Patrick Mahomes a little bit this year. That turnover bug bit him early. He did that. He was like night and day in the second half, much better in the second half. But, it's just one of those, yes, teams are going to scout Joe Burrow. But to be fair, everyone last year, Joe Burrow started out slow. There was more and more film on him as the season went on, and he just got better and better. Well, the film tapes increased, and Joe Burrow got better and better. Here's the deal. I like my fun. I like poking at the Bengals. The bottom line is they have 3 receivers that could potentially go for over 1,000 yards. They have a running back that can potentially go over 1,200 yards and a quarterback that could throw for close to 5,000 yards and well over 40 touchdowns now that he has an offensive line. Is it crazy for me to say that there's no way in hell the AFC is going to go through the Cincinnati Bengals? Maybe it sounds a little crazy after everything I just said. That defense is okay. Is it the regular season defense from last year that was average to below average, or was it the playoff defense that was dominant and the whole reason they got to the damn Super Bowl in the first place? So there's a lot of question marks, like who are the Bengals? Like the last image we have is that defense dominating and Joe Burrow not having any time to breathe because of that O-line. Well, now you say, oh, that dominating defense and that O-line's fixed up. Look out, world. Well, who is the defense? Because we see times all the time. We see in the NBA playoffs all the time. Teams flip a switch in the playoffs, and then you think they're going to return to that come next regular season, and they don't. I like this defense, but how much of the drama that's going on with Jesse Bates right now, how much is that going to have a trickle-down effect as far as the chemistry is concerned, as far as just the overall intensity? Sometimes things go beyond a box score for what a player means to a team, and there was a lot of toughness that he brought to the field that maybe goes beyond just how many tackles or interceptions or coverages that he had. So I say all of this, the Bengals very well could be the team that wins the AFC, and it wouldn't shock me one bit. But to sit here and say that it definitely goes through Cincinnati, I think that's a little foolish. Keyshawn said it best when he started.
The ball bounced perfectly for them. Let's be honest with each other. There was probably about 4 to 5 games throughout the regular season that
the ball bounced perfectly for them. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with each other that the ball bounced perfectly. But here's what I'm going to say as a Browns fan. I need the ball to bounce right for the Browns this year. You need the ball to bounce right for the Steelers this year. We all need that ball to bounce right. And if the Bengals are fortunate to have that ball bounce right 2 years in a row, meaning they stay healthy and everyone else gets injured, who cares? Right. That's how you have to do it. Most teams win because they're healthier than the other. Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl 2 years ago because he was healthier, or because the offensive line was better for the Bucs than it was for the Chiefs. If the Chiefs have their full offensive line, I don't think Patrick Mahomes looks as bad as what we looked. Okay, you know what I mean? I don't think the Chiefs' offense looks as bad as what it did. Tom Brady, no one said, I didn't say, man, Tom Brady, the only reason he's a Super Bowl champion is because the O-line for the Chiefs. No, Tom Brady went out and won that Super Bowl. The Chiefs went out, or the Bengals went out and made it to the Super Bowl. They do it again this year, you ain't going to hear a peep out of me. But with that back half schedule, I'm telling you, you will not hear a peep out of me. If the Bengals win the entire AFC this year, with that schedule, especially in the back half, it's roses, butterflies, and sunshine in that first half of the season. Okay, good for them. Good for them. But that back half is a gauntlet. At Pittsburgh, at Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland. That's the first 4 games. Okay, then to close out, think about this, Bengals fans. The AFC is just going to be a heavyweight slugfest. If you're a game from winning the division to a game from being out of the playoffs, which is from winning the entire AFC. You could be a game away from winning it all and being the 1 seed. You could be a game and a half, a game away from missing the playoffs entirely. How comfortable do you feel heading into the final month of the season with everything on the line, whether it be the AFC North or the AFC or a playoff spot in general, knowing that you have to go at Tampa against Tom Brady, at New England against Bill Belichick in December, by the way, Buffalo and Josh Allen, and then Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. You could say, I feel confident about the Ravens. That's fine. It's still Baltimore. And if their defense is healthy, I don't care who you are, look out. So that's all I'm saying is imagine that final 4-game stretch when a division's on the line, a playoff spot's on the line, the entire AFC, the 1 seed's on the line, and a bye on the line. That sucks. But if you get through that, you won't hear a peep out of me. I'll be wearing Bengals gear. I'll be yelling "Who Day" because at that point they would have earned it. I'm not saying they haven't earned anything yet. They got to the Super Bowl. My team was at home watching like I would. But man, that's brutal. So that's why I'm saying the schedule, not because I'm a hater. The schedule is why I have a hard time buying that they're going to win the entire AFC with as stacked as it is. And you got to play at Tampa, at New England, Buffalo, and Baltimore to close out the season. That's why I'm at least giving you a concrete reason. It's not because I'm a hater.
If I'm a fan, I could say that. Oh man, that's brutal. Man, we just got to hang on, make it or whatever. But if I'm a player on the Cincinnati Bengals fan, I'm embracing this. I'm embracing all this smoke.
They have a quarterback that does too.
Oh man, you want me to go up against the GOAT down there in Tampa? You want me to go up against Josh Allen, who's supposed to be the best next to sliced bread? You want me to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs for a 3rd time? Like, embrace this. And I would encourage, the Cincinnati Bengals fan to do that as well. Embrace it as long as you're in contention come the last 4 weeks of the season, because wacky things happen. And for me, I know you talk about the injuries thing and the other teams being healthier this season. That's a fact. But for me, I wanted to know how this very young Cincinnati Bengals offense is going to handle success. Everybody that lives in Cincinnati, that's a Cincinnati Bengals fan, loves them. They're throwing out the first pitch at the Reds games. I'm sure they're going to be at some UC basketball games, some UC football games, key to the city and all that. And that comes with bringing your teams from the depths of hell and bringing them back to relevancy. You deserve that. They absolutely deserve that. They're probably going to be down there at the Cincinnati Music Festival, Uncle Charlie and Janet Jackson having a good time, as they should. How are you going to handle success? Because that is night and day. Being the guys that are on the come up versus being the hunted is a totally different thing. So that's what I would be worried about if I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Like, all right, how are we going to handle success? How is Coach Zach Taylor going to handle having success? Because his first years, he was not successful at all.
His job.
Yeah. And like, all right, making sure his guys are still locked in every single day in practice, in the meeting rooms and yada, 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 all the minutia and everything like that we as fans could care less about. We just want to turn on the TV every Sunday at 1:00 and see some touchdowns and see some interceptions and everything like that. There's a ton that happens Monday through Saturday that makes these great things happen on Sunday. And that's up to Coach Taylor to make sure his guys are still dialed in. So for me, I would be more worried about that, because let's not act like, oh man, these guys are 35 years old. They are married and they're settled down and everything like that. These dudes is 22, 23, 24 years old. They out there turning up, as they should be.
Speaking of that, I got to mow the grass when I get home. I got to be in bed by 10 tonight. Turn up. Can't wait. All right. Kev Nash brings us over under coming up next. But I have a favor to ask of people.
You're listening to Kinner and Slemmer on 1410
Mark
ESPN
Schlemmer,
Radio.
I'm sitting here drinking a glass of tea. I miss Mark Schlemmer. Mark Schlemmer is recovering right now and continuing to battle. He just had a very tough heart surgery not too long ago. And, you know, without giving out too much, he really needs our help right now. He really needs to be uplifted. He really needs to have some words of encouragement. So what I have done is I put out on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page today the WING hotline, 937-210-9676. I have that set up to where when you give that hotline a call, it'll go right to a voicemail. I need, for those of you who have been fans of Schlemmer, know Schlemmer, friends, family of Schlemmer, and want to help lift him up and kind of help uplift his spirits a bit, I'm asking for your help. Let's do that together. The hotline is open. You leave a voicemail for him. I want to make sure that all these voicemails get to him. He hasn't been on his Facebook page in weeks now, and I know that's just destroying him. And I know he wants to hear from you. I know he wants to talk to you. He wants to tell you how he's doing, but he also needs to hear from you to help him kind of get his mojo back a bit. And so I'm asking for your help. I know it means a ton to him, and I know many of you out there are waiting for him to kind of get back, get healthy. But right now he needs your help. He's there for all of you during, trying to entertain you and be there for all your sports talk needs and everything on social media and, of course, on the show in years past, even back to his time at 980. Bottom line is, he needs you now. So call that number, 210-9676. Leave a message for him. I promise you I'll make sure that we get everything to him. But he definitely needs it. He's fighting for everything right now, and he definitely needs your help. And I really appreciate it. I know he would too. So thoughts are out with Mark Schlemmer right now. Continue to fight. Continue to battle. We're right there with you. So there you go. But all right, we're going to step away for a moment. Kev Nash brings us over under on the other side. One more time, that hotline, 210-9676. Go to the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page if you want more information of how you can leave that message for Mark Schlemmer. Thank you. We'll be right back.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Okay, let's start unloading the sod over here.
The grass is always greener when Haruka's Lawn Care does the mowing.
And then we want to get the flower bed started before lunch.
They need a new landscaping designer to keep their budding business growing.
Can we double check the incline here? This one needs to drain this way.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you have to drive 300 miles to your cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's his fourth. But you know what they say, fourth time's the charm. Well, here's the problem. Your tires are as bald as I am. But lucky for you, eBay Motors has tires for just about every make and model. Plus wheels, lug nuts, jack stands, and more. 122 million parts. Do they have tissues? Oh, good, because I'm definitely a crier. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Something you probably do know. Progressive can not only offer you a great price when you bundle home and auto, they offer you round-the-clock protection. Something you probably don't know, the average oak tree branch can hold 70 pounds. Something you probably do know, your neighbor is building their kid a treehouse. Something you probably don't know, a falling treehouse would take out your whole fence. Bundle your home and auto with Progressive and get more than a great price. Get round-the-clock protection. Something you know for the things you don't know. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
Introducing Tim Hortons' new avocado toast. Creamy avocado spread on sourdough toast with everything bagel seasoning. New avocado toast now at Tim Hortons at select U.S. restaurants. Limited time only.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find, especially our totally low prices.